Hey folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, right over there, right down there. That guy right there, that's John, our resident
That is me.
millennial. John, how are you doing tonight?
Fan fucking tastic.
Awesome. I see a
Actually.
little RRC action going on in the chat.
Oh
Good to see you,
shit.
RRC.
Hell
Awesome.
yeah, man. Dude, I had a lot of fun in his show. I want to say it was fucking awesome. Had a great time. So while you're here in the chat there, RRC, thanks for having me on again, man.
Yeah,
That was
mad
fun.
props. That was some nice showing going on over there. I see Ed in the show. That fucker. I can't believe they give that guy a show. Oh, how ironic! It seems that the sentiment is shared. Good to see you. Good to see you guys tonight. I hope everyone's having a great evening. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, you're sitting there, you're looking.
I
Hit the
am sitting
like.
here. I'm looking.
Hit the like, folks. The like is
That's
important.
right.
It ensures that no puppies will be killed during the making of this show.
It's true. I'm not saying that they would otherwise, but if you do like it, then that will guarantee that it won't happen. That's all.
John, there are no guarantees in life. I don't care how you.
I don't know. The only guarantee is that if you hit the like button, then there will not be puppies killed during this show.
I believe the common consensus is there's only two things guaranteed in life: taxes and death.
How dare you? I'm triggered.
You should be. You
I'm
look triggered.
very triggered.
Hey, I don't know if you noticed, John. It got cold as fuck last night,
Yeah,
this
it
morning,
did.
didn't it? It's like suddenly,
Yeah.
we're just rolling along in a nice summery February here in Florida, and then all of a sudden it wants to
Just
snap cold
bam.
for a day. I mean, and it's
That's how
like,
that's how our state operates, you know.
right? We we get you know 3 weeks of summer in the middle of winter, broken by one, maybe a day and a half of cold, and then back to summer. Uh,
Yep.
you can enjoy a little bit of spring in that slight transition from about I don't know 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Where it's a little spring-like. But I just saw before I came home from work that Bernie is a Russian asset. He is. He is. Anything that helps Donald Trump get elected is a Russian asset.
That's right.
Three
And
things.
yes, Ed, it is. Sorry. Go ahead. Read
RRC
RRC's.
says three things: death, taxes, and Hillary gets away with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
true. And yeah, Ed's saying, "What is cold as fucking Florida? 60? Yes. Fuck you. Yes, it is. But
Actually,
it's also it's
we're
also
down in
less
the
than
we're
50,
down in the
60. Yeah.
40s. To be fair, we're down in the 40s. To be
Right.
fair,
But also, people do start bitching, moaning, and complaining at about 60 degrees. So he's not wrong there.
what
But
amaze
you know,
what
we
amaze
also get upwards of like 100, 110 at times. So
what amazes me about people, like especially people that are newer to Florida, within the first 5 years, they're still doing some acclimation, maybe, I guess. But it's like they'll go outside and it's 80 degrees. And they're like, "Oh
mhm.
my God, it's so hot out here!" And then
Yeah,
they walk into their house where the air conditioner is set at 78, 79 degrees, and they're
yeah.
like, "Oh, this feels so much better." I'm like,
Well, there's a
but the,
difference.
but
One is humidity, and two, like the air that's coming out of the AC is cold, as opposed to outside the air is warm. But it's still the same degree. Like it's a weird thing. I don't know. But same thing happens when you put your heat on at 69, and you put the air on at 69. It's a completely different feeling.
well, yeah, exactly. I mean, well, you know, I'm always hotter during a 69 than I am colder. I mean, that's
Yeah,
there's a definitive thing there. Um, yeah, I mean, I get that to a certain extent, but the humidity is just the humidity. I don't care if you're inside or outside. The air conditioning doesn't really do much for the humidity here in Florida. It just moves you're just moving the humidity, so you've got cool
right.
water passing by you all the time. But no, it's crazy weather the way it does. Ed says your whole state is a swamp. It's like 150% humidity year round. Uh,
100% correct. Yeah,
yes, yeah, and it is. It
yeah,
is very much. Pretty much everything is built on a swamp. Disney
yeah.
used to be a swamp. All of
Oh
Disney
yeah.
used to be a swamp. I don't know how
Well,
much
that's why they
dirt.
got it there. That's why they got it there because it was so cheap. The land was so cheap because it was just swamp. And they're like, who the fuck's going to do anything here?
Right? And
Well, Disney was like, I got it.
isn't it surprising how much shit they built on that land? And you're just like, when is the
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
sinkhole in the world going to open up in Disney?
Yeah.
I think that often about much of the state of Florida. I don't know how everything stays above ground.
Yeah.
You know, you see the random sinkholes here and there, but nothing on a large scale. But you would think at some point the whole bottom of a city would fall out. Disney is still
Right,
a
at some
swamp,
point.
only from an economic standpoint.
Right. Yep.
Hey, don't talk bad about the rat. The rat provides. The rat
That's right.
provides. I see Ron Helton peeking up over there. A little bit of peeking around going on. How you
Oh,
doing
do
tonight,
you?
Mr. Helton? Good to see you. Yeah, he's on D.
Interesting.
Is that the D Live? Ron Helton is on D Live. He's over
It's weird.
there.
I'm not seeing the restream bot.
Are you looking at our? Well,
Interesting.
I see him. I see him in our restream chat on the channel.
I
I
don't.
don't see
That's
him.
weird.
I don't know. Maybe it's maybe there's something. Are you looking for him in the YouTube chat?
Yeah.
I may not. I wonder if with the new studio, the new setup, I may have to go in and set something for that to be there. So that could be on me. Um, but as long as I can see him, I'm fine. Like I said,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I see what he's doing. There, oh,
That's
yep,
cool.
there's. Oh, I see who that is. I know that.
Oh, there's a seawall there. He said we need to cut Florida off at the northern border and push it into the Gulf. I would be okay with that as long as I can leave first. I still want to be part of the U.S.
Um, if that happened, you wouldn't have to worry about leaving, John, because I believe. Oh, see, there he is. Look.
Yeah, I
So
like seeing
his
that.
emojis weren't coming through. He was doing
Ah,
emojis. That's why they didn't come through.
gotcha.
That's what it is. But honestly, if you did that with Florida, you wouldn't have to leave because I believe the way Florida is set up, it's been originally designed. It's basically a big pontoon boat, so it would just keep on floating. It would just the U.S. needs a circumcision. Yes, that would be true because
That's not a circumcision. That's a
it
lot more than that.
uh, no,
That
yeah,
is
not a circumcision,
castration.
castration. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
These Gentiles don't understand
Right.
circumcision, do they?
They don't.
They just don't know. And this is the same man that was knocking my automotive knowledge.
That's true. He did do that.
Hey, so, John,
Yeah.
Wednesday night.
Oh, before
Did
you get into that though,
oh
I had my
no.
little my little
Oh
show and
yes, I
tell.
forgot. You have a little show and tell. Excuse
I
yes,
do
please go
because I
ahead.
did announce on
Little
Monday.
show and tell.
Yeah, on Monday I had mentioned that I was having a birthday gift sent to me, and it hadn't gotten there yet, so I couldn't show it on Monday when it was actually my birthday. So it got here on Tuesday though, immediately after. So that was kind of shitty, but it's here now, so I can show you. But I gotta make sure I cover my last name up. Yeah, I'll go like that. See if I can get this around. Ah, that's not gonna work very well,
Oh,
but
it's kind of there. So
it's kind of there. Yes, I am officially a Lord of Sealand.
it's a registration deed of uh, independent noble title. Is that what it says? Independent or official
Yes.
noble?
Wait, what do you mean independent?
What did it say up at the top? It says registration deed
Of
of
individual.
individual noble title.
Right. Yes. So I am indeed now Lord John. So if the chat can just address me as such from here on out, I think we'll
Whoa,
be
whoa,
okay.
whoa! Let's
And
establish what you're a lord of.
what?
Please go ahead and do the full
Yes,
explanation of what you're a
yes,
lord
I'm a
of
Lord of
before you
Sealand.
start demanding titles be thrown around, sir.
There was a title. It's an official title. What are you talking about?
Hold on, John. It's officially in a frame. That's
It
really.
is. That's pretty official. I mean, they don't just hand frames out to anyone.
Has it been notarized by an American notary?
No, but it's
Then
been
it
signed
is.
by the Prince Regent of
Uh-huh.
Sealand,
But
and it's got the seal on it as well.
Prince Albert was a prince. I mean, but he was just in a can. I mean, he's just, yeah. So, what is the location that you are
It's
a
about
lord of?
Sealand is what it is.
And,
Yeah.
and clarify that. Please spell that so that people don't think it's sea hyphen land.
Oh no, it's SEA land.
Right, as in the
Yeah.
name of, say, a theme park,
It's not a theme park.
an aquarium, maybe,
It's not.
something along those lines. And
It's none of those things.
no, it's none of those things.
No.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
is it
sovereign principality.
principality, not even a
Yeah.
country?
Right, it's a principality.
And do they have more man-made land or natural land in their principality?
They probably have more natural land, just most of it's underwater. That's all right, you'll
So
see.
their name is basically telling you what their principality consists of: sea and land, a little
Right,
land.
no air. There's
Sea
no air there.
first, because there's mostly sea
Right.
and some land. That's,
Yes, correct.
right. So you're Lord Aquaman and
That's
Lord Aquaboy.
right.
Um, I have to say, John, that while you are patting yourself on the back there with your newfound nobility,
Yes,
um,
yes, of
people can
course.
buy stars. I mean, you can own a star, John. I mean,
See, the
it's
thing is,
really
I can't
just,
go to a star. I can go to Sealand.
can you?
You can't. You
Oh, you're
can't.
right. I can't. And I
Yeah.
will say this: I did check. I happen to notice it's not on my bucket list. So
Ah,
it's not going to be a big loss that I can't get in there. But I do know one thing, that if I just send a little bit of money, I can get me a little admission ticket in the form
yeah,
of a nobility title.
you could, but you don't. You haven't.
Now, is that a 1 day pass, or is that a annual pass, or is that a lifetime pass?
No, it's a lifetime.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Lifetime one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure. Now, does that give you access to all the rides, or do you have to buy like a bracelet that will let you get on the rides?
No, I'm pretty sure I can do whatever I want over there. I mean, as long as I follow the laws, of course, of Sealand. You know, no one's above the law over there. It's a constitutional monarchy.
So,
They hold each other accountable.
Seawall says you're American, so you get no titles. And then
Yeah, I'm not
poor
gonna trust him until he can spell it right.
Ed thought he said you get no titties, but that's obviously not true because
That's not true.
you've got a couple.
I got a good pair. Yeah,
Yeah, and your
a nice
girlfriend
pair today.
has
Yes, she
some
also has an
too,
excellent
right?
pair. Yeah, I would say hers are better, less hairy than mine
I
for
would have
sure.
to agree. I think hers has
Yeah,
much less hair than yours.
absolutely.
Not that
But
I
yeah,
would,
no,
not
it
that I
was
would know.
it was a fun little gift, and I got a whole like packet of information about it. It's got like all the little history of it and all that kind of stuff.
Founded
But
in
yes, it's been a lot of fun.
1967,
67. Yep.
the year before I was born. So they're 1 year
So
old.
it's
They're
older than you are.
50 to 1 year older than me.
Yep.
Interesting. So that means dick here in America. Gotcha, gotcha. I was trying to remember exactly what that
Well, it's not
equated to.
old.
No, because it's fucking not America. So now tell me. So now, does that change your loyalties? Do you now have more loyalty to Sealand than you do to your own native soil?
um, if they offered me a fiefdom, then I would. Yeah.
Do they have enough land area for you to have a fiefdom?
Probably not. No.
Right? They'll give you a fiefdom. It's the mega box of Legos, and you just have to build your own.
Yeah. You're not going to be laughing so much when my army and I come and take over your house there. We're going to conquer your house.
A house?
Make it
So
a,
there's room
yeah.
for houses?
No, I'm going to come and conquer your house, is what I'm saying.
Oh, really? With
Yeah.
your little
Yep.
army?
Make it a protectorate
Are you
of Sealand.
gonna bring your show sword and
Yeah,
display me to death?
that's right. I'll display the shit out of you.
Display me all over the
Well,
place.
obviously, I'll use one of the real ones. Jesus. And I got a bow, so I can do it from a distance if I need to.
That's what she said.
You know? Yeah. You
So
watch.
anyway, now that we understand just how worthless you are,
Excuse me. I am Lord John. Thank you. It's very worthwhile.
Um, yeah, that and $1 will buy you a coffee at Wawa.
Probably.
That's about what that'll get you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Be careful with that. Remember what happened when Pretoria annexed Joe's
Pretoria.
Pretoria.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
had.
true.
What is that
That's
about?
a Family Guy reference.
Oh,
When,
Family Guy.
yeah, when Peter seceded from the United States, like so, his house was Pretoria.
Seceded or seeded?
Seceded, and then
Seceded.
he left the country and
So
became
what's the
his own
difference?
country.
What's the difference between seceding and seeding?
Well, seeding is when you know, put something out to grow, whatever
No,
that
C
might
E D
be, and
E.
then
We're gonna seed from the nation.
oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know what the difference is. I think
Ah.
one is like you're leaving.
So
Yeah, I'm
should
not
you bandy
100%.
words around if you're not 100% sure that
Yeah,
you're
I'm saying
using the
he
right one?
seceded, which is what he did.
It sounds like he
That's correct.
succeeded. See, I think
No, he's
that's
sex-seeded.
sex seeded. So there was.
Sex-seeded. Jesus, Robert.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. According to the Register of Deeds, Peter's property wasn't legally a part of the U.S., so he made a new country.
Right.
Nah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Sovereignty. It's all about sovereignty, right?
Correct. 100%. Seeding is
Seeding is
giving away
giving
something.
away.
Correct. Yeah,
Seceding
that's
is
what it is.
taking it away. Gotcha.
Is yeah, leaving. Yeah.
Very good. I'm glad we have Seawall here. Thanks for showing up. Did you hit the like button? If you didn't, none of your information matters.
That's right.
Seeding is there. It is. Seceding is when you take back your
Seceding is when you
sovereignty.
yeah.
Again, did you hit the
Exactly,
like
Ron Hamilton.
button, Ron Helton? Oh, I don't think D Live has that
No,
like
D Live
button.
doesn't have
It
that.
has the lemon button. Gotcha. Uh,
Yep.
and then he annexed Joe's Pool, and the U.S. Army came and annexed Pretoria. Hmm.
Yep. That's right. That
So
won't happen this time. We'll
Ed,
we'll learn from the mistakes of Pretoria.
Ed is
And
watching.
Sealand will come and conquer
He's watching
Robert's
way
house.
too much TV. He's watching way too much TV. He knows. Anyway, so John, did you happen to watch the big UFC fight on Wednesday? Oh, sorry, the debate. It was a
Right.
debate. There it was. The debate on Wednesday night. Did you?
I
Did
would
you?
much rather have it been a UFC fight. That would be so much better.
Right. So you told me you watched a little bit of it, right? Some
I
of it.
watched like the first hour, but that included the coverage, like the pre-coverage.
Oh well, that's not even. Then you
So
missed. You didn't watch a lot of the debate then.
I did.
I have to admit, and I think
Oh
Ed.
shit! Look
What?
at that. Seawall saying, "I'll hit the like button, Rob, if you join the assault to unseat John. Bring it on, fuckers."
John is already unsettling. So do we really need to unseat him as well? I mean,
I'm firmly set at the moment. Just letting you know.
that flies in the face of everything grammatical I know. Don't ever fucking say that again, John. Or I swear to God, the SS will be knocking at your fucking door. The grammar SS.
Let him come.
More like WWE, all staged and worked.
Yeah.
Well, now
Well,
RRC, I
somewhat.
will say this. Yeah, some of it seems, some of it could be, but I'm telling you, Klobuchar, she got pissed though. I mean, she, you could see that she was getting red in the face, and she wanted, and then when they wouldn't let her finish talking, it's like there were some fun things there. I enjoyed that debate so much, I watched it a second time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Holy
enjoyed
shit.
watching the back, but a part of it was, of course, was for the show. But I was like, no, I want to see this again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. One of the things I was doing also was I was watching Bernie, not Bernie, but Mike Bloomberg, because I really wanted to watch him as he was being confronted on some of the things he was being confronted on, to see how much. Just how full of shit he was.
Sorry, I was laughing at Seawall's comment.
So you
I
can
couldn't
see the
help. I tried not to
salamander.
laugh, but Jesus.
Klobuchar wasn't. She was pissed because she wasn't in on the fix.
Yeah, probably.
But
I mean,
no, I wanted to watch Mike Bloomberg. Like, so I spent a lot of time just watching him, especially not when he was talking, but when others were talking about him, because he is he is deeply, I'm going to have to say, sociopathic, if not borderline psychopathic, and extremely very deeply ashamed of a lot of the things that he does, but doesn't give a fuck at the same time. I don't know. It's a weird thing,
yeah,
weird vibe I was picking up from him because I really was just trying to watch him and gauge how he was reacting to things. And you could see some shame every once in a while, but then he would quickly rebound into this just whatever. I don't give a, I've got billions of dollars, I mean
yeah,
that does a lot for any shame or remorse you might feel is just like think bank account suddenly I feel better. Um, uh, I spent a lot of time watching Mike Bloomberg. I had the Tiger Beat posters on my wall and everything. Boy, that Ed,
yeah.
gonna have to paddle his bottom,
Ooh.
but I think that costs extra. Uh,
Or maybe he has to pay you extra, depending on which way it's going.
Now, I there were a
Or
few
safer.
there were a few times where I actually, I was just like, God damn, these folks are just really getting nasty. And I went ahead and pulled up the highlight. There's a little highlight reel. It's like 5 minutes long, but I thought we could look at some of these and talk about it a little bit before we get into the latter portion of the show,
Yeah,
where we delve into John's sick mind.
that's right. It's a pretty
Because,
good mind, I would say.
well, it's still sick, but still,
Yeah. But it's sick in a good way. Like, oh, that was sick, man. It's like that.
that was my Robert impression. Really?
Sounded good. Sounded spot on.
If you want to do a Robert impression, you better grow it about another 6 inches. And I
Ooh,
don't mean tall, brother.
got him.
Got him. All right.
Oh,
So,
man.
having said that, I'll pop this up. We'll see what we can find. Hey, did I have it? Yes, I do have it. Oh my God, I'm so smart. I actually have it. So I'm going to switch over to that, and let's start off and see what kind of fun stuff they tell us. Some of this, John, some of this will be from the front end of it, and you'll have seen that, but we'll see what else we
Yeah.
can get. Please bear with any video shit that goes on. So look at everybody. Okay. There we go.
I'd like to talk about who we're running against.
This I
A
love.
billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about
Of course. There you go. See, this is the beauty of that tube.
So, I don't get to watch it yet. Um, so I
Mayor
don't know exactly
Bloomberg.
what you're
I
responding
actually
to,
welcomed Mayor Bloomberg to the
unfortunately.
stage. I thought that he shouldn't be hiding
Oh,
behind.
you're watching it on, you're not watching my screen? Oh, you can't hear it.
Yeah.
No, when
Yeah,
Warren came out at the
what,
beginning,
horse?
yeah, when she came out and she talked
Yeah.
about who we're running against, and she's like, I'm not talking about Trump, I'm talking about Bloomberg. Um, she was coming out hard on him right away, right? She was just, fuck you, fuck
Yeah.
you.
What did she say? It was fat lesbians and horse-faced. Oh, no, it was fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Fat
or
broads and
something like that.
horse-faced,
Yeah.
horse-faced lesbians, yes.
Yeah.
Which was, apparently this is something he said in the past, some quote he's taken. But honestly, it could have been Trump she was talking about. That's because, in talking to Rosie McDonald, he said some
Yeah,
some
Rosie
similar
O'Donnell.
things about Rosie O'Donnell. I
Yeah.
say
Well, that
Rosie
was so
McDonald.
funny during the 2016 election when they were like, you've called women fat pigs or something like that, and he's like, no, just one. Like, just...
And that makes all the difference in the world.
Well, hey, that's fair enough, I mean, where's the lie, though?
Oh, why am I getting this from YouTube?
his TV ads. I don't think you look at Donald Trump and say, we need someone richer in the White House.
Let's put forward somebody who actually lives and works in a middle-class neighborhood in an
What is it?
industrial Midwestern city.
God damn it. You know,
City. Let's put forward somebody who's actually a Democrat.
So the Buttigieg, when he says that, let's put forward somebody who's actually lived in a Midwest city and, basically is, the average guy. He says, let's actually
Right.
put forward somebody who's actually a Democrat. Now he was taking shots at Bernie throughout the long. Like he was going after Bernie because Bernie is the top dog. Like he wasn't even really that fazed by Bloomberg coming into that. Sewell says, Ed doesn't listen when I
Yeah,
tell him that video, right?
I noticed that as well.
He
It was
never
kinda
listens.
shitty.
He do what?
So I noticed it was kind of shitty too. Like it was constantly trying to buffer.
Right, and that's YouTube and trying to pull up the video. I've got three different things chewing up my bandwidth too. I got Discord, I've got this and that. I told you I've got to get a new computer. I'm working on it. It'll hopefully real soon. Real soon it's going to happen. But anyway, so Sewell says Bloomberg is everything they accuse Trump of being, but worse. And I have to agree with that. One thing that I will say from looking at what Bloomberg's doing and listening to him in this debate, I think Mike Bloomberg is trying to win in the same way that Trump won. You know how you said, you've always talked how did Trump win? Well, he utilized social media and then, let social media carry him with the
Right.
memeing and the and
There's an important difference between the two, though.
because
With Trump, it kind of happened
campaign,
naturally.
right?
Well, that's absolutely 100% the case. But with Trump, it kind of happened naturally. It wasn't something that he did. It just kind of, people were fascinated by him, and it just grew naturally in like the internet culture. Bloomberg is actually going to different content creators and such, and like saying, "I'm going to pay you to, talk about me and how good I am and all this kind of shit." And same thing with the memes. Kind of like who was it? Was it Warren that was doing the meme team? Where has that gone? I haven't seen that at all.
Haven't heard much
But-
of that. I think that got killed off after it was talked about. Like after it was, publicized like it was I think it was in the debate that they talked about it some, and after
think so.
that, I haven't really heard much about it. But see, Bloomberg.
Yeah, I followed them on Twitter, the Elizabeth Warren meme team, but I've seen like 2 tweets from them since.
Now,
So,
well, now I think that now Bloomberg's direction is primarily though trying to go on the attack, to answer attacks from Trump, to go toe to toe with him on social media, as opposed to the memetics of it.
Memetic.
Of it.
Yeah, it's memetics.
Memetics of it. I think that's the direction he's going. Is he's going to try and take Trump on toe to toe with insults and mudslinging on Twitter. What better place to do it than the cancer of social media, right?
Oh yeah, that's where it happens.
Ed says Bloomberg is everything they accuse Trump of being, except he's actually violated the Constitution as an elected official.
Yeah.
Now, in what way you agree with that? What way has he violated?
Stop
You're
and
talking about the
frisk is
stop and
absolutely
frisk?
unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Stop and frisk is 100% against the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, I see that. What I don't agree with, to a certain extent, is okay. While we can agree that stop and frisk should never have been put in place, I will say that. The idea that it targeted people of specific colors / minorities is also true. But
Well, yeah, by Bloomberg's admission, that's
Sure.
true.
but
But he's like, yeah, of course we did. Like, duh.
but why? But why would if you put anything in practice like that? Okay, so if you're going to address crime in a city,
Hmm.
more than likely, if you're going to target the crime-ridden areas, and it's not to be stereotypical, it's not to be racist, but it
Well,
is a
despite being
fact.
13% of the, huh? Yes,
What?
it is a fact.
Do what?
I was just saying, despite being 13% of the population,
Well,
but
but
yeah,
but I mean, it is historically and often statistically that in minority-heavy areas there is an increase in crime. That's where your higher crime levels are. I'm
yeah,
not. I don't want to. I don't want to, presume any reasons why. It's just this is something that has and always been a thing. It's so when you are talking, okay, he was talking about 650 plus murders a year, and if you want to target that, things like that, take guns out of criminals' hands, you go to the areas where there's the highest crime. I mean, you don't walk into downtown Manhattan if only 50, say 50 murders are being committed in Manhattan, and 600 are being committed in the Bronx or
yeah,
Brooklyn or whatever area, Queens. You go to where the 600 are being committed. Sure, you
yeah.
may have a little bit of, you may try and influence a little bit in Manhattan, but you're going to
You're gonna
target.
focus on the yeah. You're gonna focus on the higher rates. Yeah, absolutely.
If you're in Los Angeles and you're looking to minimize crime, there's a good chance a lot of your focus is going to be on places like Compton and Oakland, areas like that, right?
Hmm.
It is what it is. So he's a fool to be outspoken. that's that's where it fucked him up, was just being
Just being
outspoken of
honest.
it.
Yeah,
And surprisingly, whether it was unconstitutional or not, don't we want somebody that just speaks honestly about what's going on?
yeah. But yeah,
Uh,
I mean, Ron Helton's right about this. It absolutely is a violation of liberty. So yeah, stop and frisk has to fucking go. I don't care
yeah,
where it is, because you have no right to look in my pockets ever, my backpack, whatever it is I'm carrying. You have no right to look in that whatsoever.
and so yeah, I mean and also apparently that's from what he said, it was a law that was already in place in New York. So he said it was an existing thing. Stop and frisk was an existing thing. He just put emphasis on it and started enforcing it at a heavier level. So
Yeah.
the way it came across to me is he didn't put the original ability for the police to just stop and frisk in place. So the question
Oh
becomes,
yeah, I don't think he did. He definitely ramped it up, but he also could have gotten rid of it, but he didn't.
well, yeah, he could have gotten rid of it. That's true. But he's, I would have to say let me ask you this. If that was a law in Trump's New York, if Trump were mayor, would Trump not have done the same thing?
I don't think he would have gotten rid of it either. No.
Do you think he would have enforced it at a heavier level, much like Bloomberg did?
Um, I don't think he would have ramped it up. I think he would have left it as it was. Unless, of course, there was a big stink about it. Then I don't know which way it would go. He might like lessen it if there was a big stink about it, because his whole concern is being popular.
Right.
It's like people liking him. So if there's a huge stink about something, then he'll do something about it. But otherwise, he'll pretty much leave it alone. I mean, Guantanamo Bay is still open,
Right.
but it's because no one's talking about it.
Well,
So
that shit
why
was
address?
supposed to have been shut down during the Obama administration,
Yeah, yeah.
and it
But I'm
wasn't.
just saying, like, no one's talked about it since then. So he has no reason to bother with it.
But who we got? Oh, Comrade Jacob is in the house as well. Good to
Oh,
see you tonight,
welcome,
Comrade Jacob
comrade.
over at
Come in,
D-Light.
grab some bread. Yes,
Um,
come in, grab some bread. Have a seat.
Helton says, I want somebody to defend liberty. Honesty doesn't mean a damn if you're taking liberties. And I can
Yeah.
agree with that. I can agree with that.
I'd rather you lie to me and leave me alone than be honest with me and restrict me.
Wouldn't it be nice if you
Absolutely.
just had both,
It would be nice, but, you know,
right?
that would be in a perfect world, and that's never going to exist ever. So,
Ever?
ever.
I don't think that's true. It, utopia is coming, John. Utopia is coming.
Okay. No, dystopia is coming, for sure.
You know, I'll talk about a couple of other things that went on during this, but I'm gonna take us back to I'm not gonna try and show the video because it's just gonna do nothing but frustrate and aggravate me. So there was some discussion. So we know that Bernie was having some issues with the Nevada labor union, the service workers labor union in Nevada, in Las Vegas, and they brought this up. And apparently on Twitter there were supporters of his that were attacking labor leaders via Twitter. And I love how they call these things malicious attacks. And
We're attacked.
We were attacked.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Nephilim Ninja in the
Oh, hey.
house.
Do I have to
Yes.
get in line for bread? Yes, of course.
Always
Comrade.
in line.
Always
for
get in
bread.
line behind
There's
bread.
no skipping. There's no jumping line unless you have a fast pass. For $29.99 extra, you can get a fast pass, and you can be bumped to the back of the fast pass line.
Right. Hey, round table decision. What's up, Wyatt?
But anyway, so there, Pete Buttigieg, he decided he was gonna take a turn on this and go after Bernie with this, and basically saying that Bernie's leadership, your leadership, determines how your supporters are going to act. Basically saying that Bernie needs to take responsibility for trolls on Twitter.
Oh my
Because
God.
you and I both know how Twitter is, right? Just because you follow somebody doesn't make you a supporter. You may just be following them to keep up with what they're saying, or, so you can go in there and say your snide, snarky remarks, or, attack them, as it were, and be up to date on what they're saying, get those notifications and stuff. And Bernie even said, he's like, look, he says, if anybody is doing this, I disown those people. Those are not my supporters. Those are not my base, because 99.9% of my supporters are decent common Americans that are supporting.
And I agree with that. Yeah.
And I would say, unless it's Donald Trump's Twitter feed or AOC's Twitter feed, that's the way it is on most Twitter feeds. Most of the people there are following you and giving support messages, and there's a 1%, a 0.1% that's in there just to fuck with things, just to stir the shit, right? In the
I like
pot.
what Ed said about AOC.
I follow AOC, but I only support her in cowgirl, reverse cowgirl.
I agree.
If you have to support her in that, then she's making you do too much work, bro.
Well, you gotta hold her, you gotta hold the hips.
No, that bitch grabs the back of the couch and plants those feet firmly. She gives a stable platform to work from. That's how that works. It doesn't need to be a job for the man. I'm just saying.
Doesn't need to be, but it certainly could be, Equality.
See, and I agree, Ron Held. Nobody should be held accountable for the words of others. Absolutely nutty. And
Right.
that's
Unless they're deliberately inciting violence,
right.
then that's different. But yeah, I mean, just because someone likes someone and they're also an asshole is not that person's issue. I don't know.
If you're on the floor edge, she needs to strengthen those goddamn thighs.
Oh, she's got them thick thighs, boy.
So, yeah, well, even if his are, as Sewell says, is like 20% crazies, that's fine.
I don't know where you got that number.
I mean, a lot of people would say he's got 100% crazies because, they're all democratic socialists following him, or pure
Right.
socialists.
See, I like to think most of them have been duped. That's mostly what it is. If they're not actually insane, they don't want, the changes that socialism brings. They just don't realize that it's inevitable.
Right. Well, Bernie made a good point. Was it Bernie? Yeah, it was Bernie that was talking about it. He was addressing the socialism thing, and he said one thing that we need to consider is that we already live in a socialist society, right? There's a lot of socialism that goes on. He said he talked about economic socialism.
Yeah,
Or
that's such a dumb statement to make, though. It's not dumb. It's not dumb. It's lazy. It's a lazy
wait,
statement to make.
wait.
To say that we already live in a socialist country is
Well,
extremely intellectually lazy.
but he was talking about his primary target in saying that was talking about economic socialism from the standpoint of the big bailout when Wall Street was failing and they threw all of this money. He's like, that's socialism when the government throws a bunch of money at big corporations. That's corporate socialism.
Well, no, socialism would be if the state owned the businesses.
Well, I get it.
They don't own the businesses.
Well, I thought that would be
They're
more
owned
communism.
by the businesses.
Wouldn't that be more communism
No.
if the state owned the businesses?
No, in communism, there wouldn't be a state.
In true communism.
Right. And what communism is supposed to be, there would not be a state.
Right, but we've never seen something like that happen. We haven't seen that kind of communism.
Not in recent history.
In fact, Bloomberg, they were talking about the capitalism, and he says, he says, what, you want to get rid of capitalism? We've tried that, and what he said threw me for a minute, because he says, we've tried that before. Other places have tried that before. It's called communism, and it didn't work. And I thought for a minute, like, have we tried communism here in America? I mean, did we ever have at any point?
I mean, a lot of the Native American tribes were technically communist in that they just shared all their resources. But those were also mostly small ones. As far as I know, I haven't delved too deeply into the history of Native Americans, but I don't think they had any kind of currency or anything. They kind of traded with other tribes and then just gave amongst themselves, bartered, that sort of thing. So technically, you could say that communism has been on the American continent before. I mean, yeah.
But
but not the Marxist communism, Marxism.
I mean, we do. I mean, this country, from our government standpoint, there are a lot of socialist policies, that, and we've discussed them on the show, like welfare and Social Security, and I have to agree with Bernie that it's, the same idea applies to corporations where they can be bailed out and they get subsidies from the government to keep going and these kind of things. So there's a lot
That's
of
welfare, corporate welfare.
Right, but those are socialist type plans, right? Socialist type processes or actions, I should say, whatever you want to call them. So, it's not that far off the mark. But I don't agree that we've tried communism. And, Warren came out, she was apparently, a lot of people think that she won this debate, but mostly that was because she was attacking Bloomberg. But she was like, I am a capitalist. I love capitalism. I am a pure capitalist. And I'm like, whoa, calm down, Miss Democrat.
First of all, bullshit. Oh, wait, I missed one from Ed a while ago. I like this one. Have you ever tried to argue against UBI on Yang's Twitter? I have not.
No,
that sounds like a terrible time.
Right. I mean, why would you even want to try and argue with a bunch of people who are desperate to get $1,000 a month? There's nothing you can argue with.
Like, they
deserve.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I need my monies. Gives me that. Wyatt's asking a good question there. What do you think about Warren being VP for Bernie? I think that would be a terrible move for him to make. I think he should pick Tulsi, if anything. If he just assuming obviously he becomes, the nominee. I think he should go with Tulsi or Yang, either one, because he's going to get that support.
During the debate, Warren did say this. She said she would support whichever Democratic nominee won the primary. Any of them. So even if Bloomberg won, who she was really on, especially about, she really went after him on sexual harassment. right? And talking about, not knowing how many different sexual harassment suits there had been at his company, but they were all under non-disclosure agreements. Would he be willing to say that all of those are non-binding so those women could come forward and talk about what happened, et cetera, et cetera? Really went after him on this, and he kept saying these were consensual contracts between two parties, and that's to keep it quiet. So no, nothing's going to change on those till today, when he comes out and apparently, out of the dozens that there have been over the years in his company, there are three that he's willing to remove the barriers from, and if those people want to come forward, and they can, if they want permission, they have permission to have the non-disclosure removed, so they can talk about it. And I'm like, three. So you found three, like you cherry picked three specific ones that you'll remove the NDA from. That doesn't sound hokey at all, my friend.
Right.
That doesn't sound. Yeah,
I don't know what it like. Democrats just can't get their shit together, man. Just get your shit together, put it all in one place, and just have it together. Fuck, man.
Now he did say
constantly. There's one thing after a fucking another. It's just I don't know. I'm sorry, keep going.
But he did come as part of that. He also said that in his companies, that going forward there will not be any more NDAs in these kind of situations being signed, that those are not going to be going on anymore. So basically, if somebody comes forward with an allegation, there will not be an NDA, so they'll be able to publicize it and talk about it if it happens. Yeah. On a side note, Hillary Clinton was just hired to Bloomberg's HR department. Okay, that was a joke, John. Think. Take the steps.
I'm going to be honest, I was reading the chat.
You bitch. Because that was a good one. That was a good.
I'm sure it was just fine. I'm sure everyone else is pissing themselves laughing right now.
No, nobody got. So they're Tulsi. They're talking about Tulsi being a good pick for Bernie. I
actually think Yang would be better because and Ed was right about that. Is that Yang's supporters border on religious fanatics? He would get that support. Bernie would get that support if Yang was his VP.
Yes, and I think that Bernie, because of his policy stances, if he had Yang as a VP, I think that he would get a lot more supporters from the idea that Yang would be able to influence Bernie in the direction of a UBI.
Right.
Right? So,
very
much a catalyst for support for him. I think that those two would actually make a strong ticket in as far as getting voter turnout that Bernie is always talking about wanting to get. Nephilim Ninja says, what about Congress having a slush fund to pay out sexual assault claims? Bloomberg should have pivoted to that. And see, and it's surprising that he didn't, right?
I also want to acknowledge that Ron Helton donated 5 lemons. So, yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Nice.
I have to go through here once in a while because it doesn't show up on the restream thing if someone donates. So I want to make sure I see it.
Just like his emojis don't. It's one of those things.
Right.
It's a weird thing. It may be settings. Maybe I'll have to check settings.
I will be opening the chest tonight. So if you guys want to try and fill it up a bit more before we're done, you'll hit more back. So redistribute your lino to us, guys.
Now, I will say this, in talking and mentioning Andrew Yang, I got a notification today from his Twitter feed, and he had posted a picture, and it was obviously it looked like it was the back of his phone case, and he had a sticker Yang 2020 on the back of his phone case, but the 2020 he had put a 4 over the last 20. So that, in effect, told me that he has intentions or an idea to run in 2024, which is not terribly surprising, but, kind of letting it out of the bag. Okay, expect this in 4 more years. Now, if we get a Democratic president, then he's probably not going to get that opportunity.
Yeah.
because of course you're not likely to run against an incumbent unless it's just a fucked up incumbent. And we don't know. The DNC is fucking crazy at this point, so there's no telling what they'll do anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, Apparently, Ed donated some lemons as well. Oh, he's gonna open.
Oh, did he? I missed that. I apologize, Ed, if I missed your donation. But thank you if you did.
But
Let's see,
but
let's
Mike
see, let's see.
Bloomberg's.
Oh, yes, he did donate to. Ron Helton's actually donated. It looks like 10, because he's got 2 5s here. Badass, yeah, thank you. Holy shit, you guys are awesome. You guys aren't so bad for a couple of white boys, you know.
But in the day Thursday, yesterday after the debate, of course, I believe it was one. I think it was Bloomberg's campaign manager. Basically, and this is paraphrasing, basically said that Bloomberg tanked on the fucking debate, and then Bloomberg himself even came out and said that he kind of blew the wad on during his campaign during the debate. Which is probably why they went and picked 3 NDAs to get rid of. But Bernie kept talking a good game. I mean, he really did keep talking a good game. I don't care what anybody says about his policies. One of the biggest things is that you continue to talk a good game. And he did. And he wasn't, he got pissed off a couple of times, a little bit at Mike. Not Mike. A little bit at Mike, but mostly at Pete, Mayor Pete. He was a little irked by some of the things Mayor Pete was doing, but of course Pete was coming after him because he's the front runner and he had shown him up in the last couple of caucuses, etc. But fucking Buttigieg, man, he's not winning me over. I don't think he's winning people over as much as he hopes he's going to. He's just really a fucking cuck. God, he sounds like a cuck sometimes. Yes, I said it, but
Yeah.
Ed's running low on lemons. Oh no,
Oh, dude, I'll redistribute some to you when we open the chest. So make sure you've donated more than anybody else, and you'll get the bigger reward. Just saying.
Yeah, that's how it works. It's a trickle down economy. It's a trickle down
Right.
economy.
We redistribute.
Right.
That's what we do.
But overall, it was a fun debate.
Oh, damn. Ron Helton gave us an ice cream now. That's 10 lino. Hell yeah.
That's
Thank you, dude.
nice. I like ice cream.
God damn, he's
I might have some
trying
ice
to pay our rent. He's trying to pay our rent tonight, man.
Your rent
yeah,
and
thank
my
you.
rent are probably different, I think.
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah, they're a little different. But that's not a bad idea. I might have some ice cream after the show. Thanks, Ron, for the reminder. But overall, the debate was very interesting. Warren did a really good job. I don't know that anybody put themselves out there as real competition. Again, Bernie sizes up as good competition. But Bloomberg seems to be having an effect on people when he goes out there on the stump and gets in their face. And I think a lot of it is, a lot of it is that Trump angle of he's not taking money from anybody. Nobody's paying for his campaign but himself, and that speaks very loudly to people. I think. I want to believe that that had a lot of impact on many of the voters that voted for Trump, because when you talk about politics as usual. One of the things that is common in the campaigns these days is who's putting you in their pocket with their donations. Who's doing it?
Yeah.
And it was funny. He even said, he's like, you can go to MikeBloomberg.com, but I don't need your money. I don't want your money. I'm not asking for money. But you can visit the site. Bernie's speaking to a lot of people on very specific things. For me, for instance, it hits a chord when he talks about, Medicare for all, health care for everyone in America. That hits a chord, especially after this, most recent visit to the emergency room that I had, and got nothing resolved. Yet I am getting bills and bills right now. That emergency room visit Not out of pocket expectation, because some of it was negotiated, as they say, with my insurance company that doesn't exist. But
Right.
right now I'm sitting at a total of about $20,000 for having walked in that emergency room.
Fucking hell, dude.
Yeah, $20,000 worth of charges coming at me. About $14,000 of that was negotiated away with my non-existent insurance company.
Right.
But the worst part about it was I got a bill from the emergency room, straight up from the hospital with the emergency room. There was about 17,000 and change, and they had knocked it down. Altogether, it was like $3,400. And then yesterday, I get another bill from the fucking doctor that walked in there for 5 minutes.
Shit.
Look,
Yonder Beats just followed us. Thank you for the follow over on D Live.
nice.
Thank
I
you
like
for
a
the
good
follow.
follow.
How's it
I
going?
like a good follower.
Awesome. Welcome. Welcome.
Because remember, you can be a leader and still be a follower.
That's right.
But turned around and got a bill yesterday. Not only is the emergency room, because I thought everything was incorporated in that emergency room bill. Well, no, the fucking doctor that came in for 5 minutes looked at my hernia and then told me his little story about how horrible insurance is and, you know, how it affected him in med school, blah, blah, blah. Sends me a bill for $1,600
Yeah.
for being in that room with me for 5 minutes tops. $1,600.
Yeah.
I nearly choked. And none of that shit was negotiated away.
Yonder Beats is asking if you were taken in an ambulance. Now I know you weren't, but he's asking, were you?
No, I was not taken in an ambulance. And that $3,400, $3,100 of that was just basically the walking in fee.
Yeah.
Just walking.
Fucking ridiculous, man. I'm telling you. Yeah.
So when Bernie Sanders is talking about Medicare for all, with no premiums, no deductibles, prescription costs, things like this, that hits a chord with people like me. That,
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
can't afford insurance. I work independently as a contractor, freelancer. So I have to provide my own insurance. The Affordable Health Care Act is not affordable with a $5,000, $7,000 deductible. Any health insurance plan I'd been on, I would still be looking at this $6,000 in cost just to cover my having to cover the deductible. So it's, that hits a chord with a lot of people in this country. That is speaking to people very loudly.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but there are other things that he's saying that are speaking to people loudly. I mean, he's hitting on the environment and wanting to make changes in that. Hits those people. And then the last nail in the coffin, he's not Trump. He's a Democrat, and he's speaking to those people that just want to vote Trump out of office by getting a Democrat in there.
Right.
It's crazy stuff. Wyatt
So,
says healthcare is fucked. I agree.
Which, by the way, Wyatt, come on, don't use language like that. You're too young and innocent. Don't. I hope we're not an influence on you. Oh my
John,
God.
It's okay. He may not know what that word means, so it's okay. It's okay.
If you want to read the
He's
chat
not
for a
that
minute,
innocent. He's not that innocent.
I know. If you want
yeah,
to,
go ahead.
yeah,
Go.
I'm gonna go
Hurry
take a
up.
piss, and
You're
then,
not
I was gonna
back.
say, and then we can go to the other
Yes,
thing.
we could.
So,
You
all
should
right.
hurry back. Why are you still here? So Ron says it is because the government has destroyed competition in healthcare. I would agree that the government has destroyed competition in healthcare. I do also believe that a lot of it has to do with, I guess it's the government too. When you talk about regulations, but a litigious society has affected that as well, driven costs up from the standpoint of malpractice insurance, things like this. Medical costs keep rising because of that. That plays a part in it. It's not as much as regulation, but I do believe that has a big hand in it as well. Also, the government has created this problem now, wants to convince everybody to let them have 100% control. They just need to get out. And I can agree with that to a certain extent. It's this idea that, for instance, yes, there are options for not having insurance, but on the flip side, okay, if I don't have insurance, I go in and now I have these bills. These are bills that are going to affect me for a long period of time if I don't get them paid off in a timely fashion. Because much like any other debt, these hospital bills are not going to say, oh, well, you have, it'll be another year or 2 years before it goes to any kind of collection agency. No, it's gonna happen immediately. So, fuck, if I don't start getting it paid off, it's not like they send you a bill schedule anyway, a payment schedule. They just send you a lump sum bill, and it's like, here, this is what you owe. So, 30, 60, 90 days from now, they're going to send it off to a collections agency because it's all computerized. It's not like there's a person there with any kind of feeling or heart or emotion handling these things. So when you have that happening, there's a lot of people that are willing to, go with that mentality of let go and let government. It's easy to go into that when you're, I don't want to say poor, but just unable to handle the costs of things. But yes, the government has a big hand in this. And and I understand about trying to make the healthcare market more competitive by offering a government excuse me, a government subsidized option like Medicare. Some of the candidates were talking about improving upon that to make it a more viable and cost effective, and thus drive down the cost to private insurance companies to compete with it. But that was supposed to be the intent behind Obamacare, and it didn't really drive any major competition because what I saw was that basically insurance companies kind of had a bar that they were going to meet as far as the premiums and the deductibles, etc.
So
I can't afford $500 a month and a $7,000 deductible. I just can't do it.
yeah. So Wyatt, I see what you said there, and I'm telling your mom. So get ready for that.
Do you know Wyatt's mom?
No.
Then don't
I'm
make
sure.
mom jokes at that poor kid.
I know his last name though, so I can just find her. I'm sure. It
It's Decision.
is Decision. Her last name is obviously Decision.
The diamond.
Oh shit! He
got
donated a diamond.
Yonder Beach. Let's get props
Oh,
to Yonder
dude.
Beach.
My dude Yonder, what's up, man? Hell yeah!
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you, man.
So
I didn't know we were that good.
we're not,
I know.
but
we
they
don't just-
like to make us feel that good, and that's what's important.
That is important. Yes.
It makes me feel good in my special places.
yeah,
Yonder
Now-
is, he says, even my supposedly good insurance doesn't give us good health care. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I get my health care through my or my health insurance from my job, and I mean I signed up for the basic coverage, not like the super gold platinum awesome one, but it'll be a lot more expensive.
Well, let me ask
you
you
know.
this. Let me ask you this.
right,
If
quickly,
you don't,
'cause,
if you
move
if you
on.
don't, okay, if you don't mind divulging, what is your deductible?
I actually don't know off the top of my head.
Probably
It's not-
somewhere 2,000, 3,000.
Roughly, yeah,
Can you
roughly, probably 15 to 2,000.
And do you have that kind of money to cough up should something happen?
I do, but it would greatly reduce my savings account.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Wouldn't be good for me for sure.
All right. So the other thing that we were going to do tonight, I posted the link in down in the description for on YouTube. I don't know if I got it. I may have to plug it into the description, or you can, John. I don't know if you know how to do it in the panels
No
there.
idea.
Yeah, you can go in there.
Oh,
You
it's
can add-
Nephilim. Oh, okay. That's Yonder Beach is Nephilim's other name.
Oh, he's now here
Gotcha.
and yonder there. Sweet. He is a ninja.
He is, man.
Damn.
Just all over the place, different aliases. Hell yeah. He probably got like a D-Live passport.
But the website is idrllabs.com, and I haven't seen him in tonight, but I got to give props to Midget B for discovering this and posting something about it in Discord.
And he's not even here tonight.
That I just said that.
And I was saying, like, as being disparaging towards him, like that bastard. shake my fist at him.
But anyway, this has got some personality tests, basically. That, to be honest with you, I've, John, you've taken a couple of them here and there. I have to say that they're pretty on target to a certain extent. Like, from the ones that you've taken, have you gotten a sense that the questions are weighted to create a determined answer?
No, I think they're actually pretty fair. It seems. I mean, it depends on which ones. There are some that are, but they clearly state that they're unscientific
Right.
when they are that way. So, I mean, I don't really have a problem with it, especially if they tell you, hey, this is unscientific. Don't take anything,
Right.
Like comes up here as factual.
So I took like, for instance, there's an IQ test on here, and this is the one I'm kind of using as a benchmark for some of what I'm saying. The IQ test was very interesting because it was very much about cognitive and logic, problem solving capabilities, where you're trying to solve patterns and look for this, that, and the other. Use your mind's eye, as it were, to find the path to the answer, which I thought was a very, very good take versus the old IQ tests from way back in the fucking day that were very much culturally weighted, and a lot of people said races, very, very race oriented in the results. I thought they were fun. I thought they were fun, and I thought we could do a little bit tonight. Which one did you want to start with tonight, John? Because as folks can see, there are a bunch of tests on here. Like, you can find out all sorts of. You can even determine what your gender is.
Right.
And it's a scientifically validated test.
So I've got 4 of them pulled up here that I pulled up pre-show. The first one is the feminism test.
Feminism
test.
Now that is interesting. So this will allow us the feminism test times 5.
The 5 scale, yeah.
The 5 scale. Okay. So this is people often say that feminism just means equal rights, but in reality there are many definitions. This test measures what type of feminist you are. Is English okay with you, John? Are we okay?
Yeah, no, I think that'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. So I understand that I
might be triggered by this test.
I take triggering, any triggering on myself. Yeah, I
right.
agree with that. Okay, so let's start, and we'll try and blow through some of these. If there's any of them that have a little opportunity to discuss, we can do so. But you answer on your side, just so you can. And you've got it there, so you're reading it. Women are just as independent and risk-seeking as men. That's
a different question than I have first. Interesting.
Is it? So they maybe go in a different order.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we'll just have to do yours.
Okay. We'll just then, but you see the bar, right? So we'll go from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, of course, just staying in the middle ground.
Yeah.
Women are just as independent and risk-seeking as men.
Can you repeat that? You cut off.
Oh, it says women are just as independent and risk-seeking as men.
No, I'm gonna go with a 2 on that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they're generally as risk-seeking. I mean, they certainly could be as independent, but I don't think they
Sexist.
are risk-seeking. Sorry, I mean.
Sexist. Women can be just as happy as men without a stable relationship.
Just as happy as men without a stable relationship.
Right. Whether if it's a woman or a man, both can be just as happy without a stable relationship.
Yeah, I'll go a 4 on that one.
So a 4, all right.
Yeah, because that's also implying that men and women can both be unhappy in separate, without a relationship.
Right.
So since they can both be unhappy,
they can
people are usually happier in a relationship.
They're just human, right?
Yeah.
All right. The fat acceptance movement champions a worthwhile cause for women. It deserves more sympathy and support.
No, that's gonna be a 1 for me, dog.
I figured that. I saw that coming at 300 miles
away.
Well,
I mean, it's just not a good idea to tell people that.
It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
The idea
Apparently,
that
it doesn't.
the idea that men and women should have the same rights is cultural and civilizational suicide.
I'm sorry, civilizational what?
Suicide. It is the idea that men and women should have the same rights is cultural and civilizational suicide.
So wait. So it's saying that the idea that men and women should be equal is suicide to their
Have the
civilization.
same-
Then I'm gonna disagree.
Fully
I'm gonna go
disagree. Number one.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason why they're humans, right?
Yeah,
Whether male or female. It's pretty good.
right.
The essences of men and women are so different that it makes no sense to speak of human rights, only male and female rights.
No, I'm gonna go with the 2 on that.
A 2.
Yeah.
So you think there is some difference, some
Yeah, of
amount
course
of
there is.
play for rights between men and women to differ?
Oh wait, is that what that was saying? Because hang on.
Yeah,
'cause,
basically it's
what I
saying
got
that-
it from-
It's saying that the essence of men and women are so different that it makes no sense to speak of human rights at all. Only male and female rights.
Oh right, so yeah, so I want to disagree because it's saying that you should only speak of.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the 2, but yeah,
You still want a 2 on that?
yeah. Because I mean, we can talk about human rights too. That's
Well, I mean,
human
but-
rights encompassing both male and female rights, and there are things that women should have rights to that men don't need.
But
And,
I would argue that men should still be those rights
Okay,
should
this
still be
is
available to
vital.
men. I know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. The psychological tricks and manipulations used by pickup artists to get women to sleep with them should be considered a type of hate crime.
No, disagree. I mean, it's completely pathetic.
How
It's
disagree?
fucking, all the way.
Okay, good.
Because I don't believe in hate crime, so that's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, no, fuck that.
The psychological tricks and manipulations. Hey, you know
That's
what?
a hate crime. I hate
Yes,
you.
because
Get up.
only men are doing that, right? Women
Right,
aren't
women
using
don't
anything.
operate off of that almost exclusively. Come on.
There are only 2 genders.
100% agree.
100% agree.
Yeah.
If the use of sex robots becomes a normal practice, this will lead to the dehumanization of women.
No. No, if anything, I think it'll actually make it like more of a. I think it'll put women on more of a pedestal, like real women, more on a pedestal, because it's going to be something to try and attain. Whereas anyone can get a sex robot as long as you have the money.
Right.
Whereas to try and attain a real woman, it's like, holy shit, you have a real girlfriend,
So full 1 or 2?
Oh, the full, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that is like that's almost like saying, what? There's no male sex robots. Guess what? Those are being made too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nephilim. The scale is basically, 5 degrees of agreement. 2 on disagree, a middle ground, and then 2 towards agree on all of these statements. Basically, saying a woman. Helton says basic rights are the same. Saying a woman should be allowed in combat when unfit is not a right.
Right, that's true. Because, and Nephilim has it right there. Jobs aren't a right. You have to qualify. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's why I was saying with the military, like, I would be fine with having women in combat roles as long as you don't lower the standards for them. If you can lift a 200-pound man over your shoulder and run with them 200 yards, then fucking please, get out there and do it.
Right.
Get
out
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. But if we have to lower the standards for you, no, you're going to be a detriment to combat efficiency. It's a terrible idea.
All right. Trump. Okay, this is about Trump. Trump's political standpoints and statements are bad news for women in America.
No, they're not. It's
Fully
fucking
disagree?
ridiculous. Yeah, that's stupid. Which one? I wish they see. I know it's a test, but it's like which ones? Like, what are you talking about?
Well,
I want to argue with this test now.
Right? Kind of like it's just a generalization of the way he talks.
Yeah,
It's
no, I know.
ultimate.
Yeah.
The state should enforce quotas mandating that a certain percentage of male-dominated high-end jobs, that meaning CEO, board memberships,
No,
professorships, should go to women. So
no,
enforce quotas.
no. 100% disagree. No,
Yeah, I
fuck
figured
that. Get
that.
fucked.
Children should be raised in as gender neutral a way as possible.
No, raise your kids how you want to.
One or two.
One.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, fuck that.
The mainstream cultural conceptions surrounding male-female dating and intercourse are constructed by the patriarchy to satisfy men's desires.
Sorry, can you give me that one more time?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's saying that the patriarchy created sex. No, it says the mainstream cultural conceptions surrounding male-female dating and intercourse. So basically, how we get from point A to point Z.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know what? That there is actually some legitimacy to that. I wouldn't say patriarchy. I wouldn't use that word for it. Or just satisfy men's desires.
Yeah.
That's God damn it, because I like there is a point in there. It's just like covered in bullshit. Like, no, the point is cultural conceptions surrounding male female dating and intercourse. That is a cultural thing, right? Because different cultures do that in different way.
Well,
With like
now,
courtship is done in different
hold on,
ways.
hold on. But remember, this one thing that you have to I think you have to do here is you have to just look at this from a purely Americanized, Americentric viewpoint. This is
But even
how
in
we do
America,
things.
it's different.
It is to a certain extent.
I mean, you've got like the Tinder hookup scene. You know, you've got the traditional. You know, I work with you, or I know you from somewhere. You know, I'm going to ask you out, and you know, we're going to go have dinner and go see a movie. You know, and maybe get a peck on the cheek at the end of the night. Then you have, you know,
Well,
like we're going to fuck the first night, or you know, I've met you at a party, we have a one night stand. You know, there's all kinds of different ways of doing it, even just in America, that are
well,
fully accepted.
let me give you this little tidbit and see how it affects your opinion of it. Throughout the years of my writing and writing articles and stuff online, one of the areas I've focused on is dating and picking up women, etc. I've written a lot of stuff on this, and all of it comes from the standpoint about being a dominant male, showing confidence, and
Yeah.
leading a woman through a very not very misogynistic so much as very patriarchal in the approach. You are the dominant male. You are an
Yeah.
alpha. This is how you approach, and this has been a consistent want in different sites in different ways where
Well, that
they
is
want to promote dating, lessons in dating for men, et cetera, in the culture. In our
Yeah.
American.
Let's do it, Ed. Ed's asking if I want to go out. Yeah, I'll go out with you, Ed. I mean, you're not gonna get any, but you know, I'll go out with you.
So
Um,
what would you say? Is it constructed to satisfy men's desires?
no, no, not to satisfy men's desires. Because Ron Helton, I think it was who said it in the chat, is correct about it's women who decide who gets to mate and whose genetics get to go or gets to continue, and not men. So no, I would disagree with that. But I'm going to give it a 2 because there is a point in there that is semi-correct, but it's just like I said, it's just covered in in bullshit.
And,
So I'll give it a 2.
and I will say this, as far as what Ron said there about the female to choose who she will mate with, one of the things that is consistent with the articles and the teachings that I would put out there. I'll call them teachings, but for dating sites, et cetera, is that you take that decision from her. You make the decision for her. You determine that she's going to be with you, and you control every aspect of the situation until you get to that end goal. You know, because that's what men want to hear. That's what gives men confidence if they feel like they can go in and do that. All right, here we go. The state should enforce quotas mandating that fathers and mothers take a roughly equal amount of parental leave.
No, 100% disagree. What the fuck? No.
So that you have a, that's speaking to that gender neutral, so that both parents have an influence through gender on the upbringing of the child, but
No.
mandated as opposed to
No.
choice.
No. Get fuck. No.
It is hypocritical for Western feminists to bash Western men for the smallest grievances while largely ignoring the absence of fundamental rights for women in the Muslim world.
Whoa. I'm gonna need
You,
to wait until the. Okay, it is hypocritical for
you
Western feminists to bash Western men
right?
and smallest logic. Yeah, 100% agree with that. It's
Really?
absolutely hypocritical.
Is
Yeah,
it?
of course it is. Yes, because it's like you're so worried about, your minor inconveniences
Well,
here, but
sure.
you don't say anything. In fact, a lot of them defend Islam.
And I will say
It's
this, and it's mostly for me it's because they like speaking to the rights of all women. These feminists are speaking for all women. They're standing up for
they're
all
not
women,
though.
and it's like, why? Why are you standing up for all women? Stand up for women in your culture. Stand up for women in your country. Because what's being done in other fucking countries, they've been doing that for a long fucking time. And if it wasn't working, somebody would have done something. But
Yeah.
apparently somebody's okay with it.
But yeah, no, it's totally hypocritical.
Market economies unfairly favor men's abilities over women.
Wait, you keep cutting out at like the last second. I'm gonna wait
Market
for it to wait for the
mar-
stream to catch up so I can see what the question is.
Market economies unfairly favor men's abilities over women's.
Um, no, I don't think that it. I don't think it's like designed that way.
I don't even see
But
how
does it
that.
unfairly? Well, I mean, because there's things like, especially things like labor and you know.
What are you eating?
I'm gonna go with a 2 on that.
Okay. And just FYI, you're going to hear me cut out if you are doing anything that's triggering your mic while I'm talking.
You think that's what it is?
Oh, it happens to you with me on my side all the time. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
hmm.
thing. It's a
All
mic
right.
thing. Giving women the vote was a mistake.
um,
Ooh, there's a deeply thought-provoking question, isn't it?
I'm, I'm gonna go with the 2.
A two. Disagree with a
Yeah,
two.
because I mean, I'm for everyone having equal rights, but at the same time,
Obviously not. Not equal. Maybe a little less than equal. All right. Gender differences are immutable, and men and women have distinct but complementary social roles to play.
yeah, I'm gonna give that a 4.
A four, you say? White men peddle hatred against Muslims
100% disagree.
as a way to distract women from as a way to distract women from the fact that they are oppressed.
Yeah, 100% disagree. That's fucking retarded. That I don't mean like, oh, that's dumb. No, I mean that's actually like mentally retarded. No.
All right, feminists who don't actually play video games should refrain from criticizing the portrayal of women in video games.
Should. Yes. I wouldn't tell them they can't, but they
But is that the
shouldn't.
reason
Yeah.
why they should refrain? Because they don't play the video games?
Well, yeah, I
That's
mean
a
it doesn't
tricky one.
affect them. Right, it doesn't affect them at all.
The existence affects them. So, what was your number on that one?
I'm gonna go with the 4.
Okay. All right. The male gaze's tendency to objectify women against their will is a serious problem for women. So, looking at women's
No.
tits is a serious problem as they show as much cleavage as they want.
Yeah, no, fuck that. 100% disagree. That's stupid.
Yeah, that one has always gotten me. I
Yeah.
mean, don't put words across your tits or your ass if you don't want me to read them and look.
Right.
And sure as fuck, don't wear a guess shirt because I'm going to walk up and guess.
Right.
Done it before, I'll do it again. Female empowerment necessarily disempowers men. Necessarily disempowers men. Notice that. Don't get caught in that. Notice what it says. Female empowerment necessarily disempowers men.
I would say there's some truth to that. I'll give it a 4 because there is some truth to that.
Is it out of so? Okay, maybe am I reading into it differently? The way the question is being put, it's almost like a trick question. Like it's necessary, like it's saying it's necessary to disempower men
In order to have female
empowerment, right?
Yeah,
So you agree with that?
yeah,
4, you said.
yep,
Okay. That one's a little bit of a trick question. It's fucking.
yeah. It's worded a little weird.
It is not possible to be feminist and right wing.
I mean, I'll give that a 4 because it's true. But
But there's wiggle room.
well, yeah. I mean, you could be a right-wing feminist, I suppose, but it's just not a thing that happens. And no one else, like no feminist, is going to agree that you're a feminist if you're also right-wing. It's never going to happen.
It is not possible to be sexist against men.
Oh, 100% disagree. That's retarded.
Yeah, that's
Again.
Men's tendency to find young and slender women more attractive than older and plumper ones has as much to do with the media as it has to do with biology.
No, I think that biology informs our perception on, what is attractive and what's not, and the media uses that, that already established idea of what is and what is not attractive
Right.
to sell whatever, Coca-Cola or whatever product they're trying to sell.
So the number on that one?
I'm gonna go with I'll just go with a 2 on that because I mean I'm sure the media has influence on what people find attractive.
Right.
But
Well,
I don't think it's more so, or I don't think it's equal to or more so than biology.
Here's what I have to say about that. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If you are 18 years old and you find a male attractive or a female attractive, guess what? When you're 30 years old, that same 18-year-old partner, you're going to find him attractive. And if you're 50 years old, guess what? You're still going to find him attractive. You'll still find people your own age all throughout, different age ranges, attractive.
Yeah.
But you don't stop being attracted to the young ones any more than the older ones. No
I
matter
don't know.
how old you get.
I found that my attraction to younger women, like 18 to probably 23, I would have no interest.
But that's because you also
obviously
factor in
sexually,
having to
yes,
talk to
but-
them, though, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. That's
Exactly.
just attractiveness. Attractiveness is still there.
Attractiveness
If
is
they
the
don't
same,
open
yeah,
their
yeah.
fucking mouth.
Right. That hasn't changed.
One thing I will say to Ron Helton, he says, obviously a jackass wrote these questions. I will tell you, these questions seem to me to be being taken directly from the mindset of the SJWs on Twitter. Like, these are questions that are formed from these kind of ideological, these weird fucking SJW mindsets. So I don't think it's so much of a jackass. I think it's a very smart approach to see how you fit in, how you follow along with these mindsets that are going on. Women are just as rational and logical as men.
Hell no. Hell no. 100% disagree. No. Have you
There
seen
I
some of
have
those crazy bitches out there? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
But now there I would have to go with a 2 because there are some that are just so disconnected,
I mean,
so
yeah, but
dispassionate
generally
that they
not.
right.
Generally not.
Prostitution should not be legal.
I'm going to 100% disagree with
I
that.
knew that answer before you even said it.
Yeah.
Because you like your prostitutes. Men who support female empowerment are inherently weak.
Yes, they are. Give that a 4.
Do you really think that?
What? Yes, male feminists are inherently weak. Yes.
Pornography should not be legal.
No, I 100% disagree with that. Of course it should.
Contemporary Western society is permeated by rape culture.
No. 1.
See, I think these questions are very good questions because they just lay out these common mindsets and, and determine.
Oh, look, Midget showed up.
Hey, there's
So this
Midget.
test seems to be very agenda-free.
This one is kind of specifically about a certain agenda, though. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
about
to find
feminism.
out how much of a feminist you are.
Since men repress women not only in the public sphere but also in the home, feminism should not uphold the distinction between private and political, but in fact regard the
Oh my
private
God.
as political.
Yeah, I'm gonna 100% disagree with that because that's obviously ridiculous. The whole premise of it, the wording of it, just every single bit
It's
of
got
that
too many
is-
syllables for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't like the, anytime there's someone with big words, I just take it as disrespect, and I get violent, so.
The lack of nuanced roles for women in movies is a serious problem for gender equality. The lack
No.
of nuanced roles.
Because that's not a thing. There's absolutely nuance. Get the fuck out of here, Test.
Right? Women have just as much of a sense of honor and duty as men.
I would say that's generally true. Yeah, that could be. Obviously, it depends on the person, but
Is it a 4 or
yeah,
a
no, they
5?
absolutely have. No, they absolutely have the ability to, have the same kind of honor and duty as a man. It might be different, but they absolutely have the same sense, or they could.
4 or 5?
I'm gonna go with 4.
If women ran the world, there would be less violence and fewer wars.
Bullshit. Oh my
1
god.
or a
'Cause
2?
I'm gonna go with the 1 because it's like, did you hear what that Russian bitch said about my skirt? Fuck her, and then they hit the fucking nuke button. Fuck that, dude. Women are catty.
Contemporary Western societies are to a very large degree defined by the patriarchy.
Can you read that one more time?
Contemporary Western societies are to a very large degree defined by the patriarchy.
Oh no, 100% disagree. They pander to women as much as possible, and then more so after. It's fucking no,
So
no
you
way.
said disagree? Full disagree?
Yeah.
Do you believe that is the case back in the day?
Back in what day?
Well, 100 years ago. We were much more patriarchal back then.
I mean, more so, but at the same time, not as much as people would say.
Would you say the country was founded on a patriarchal build?
No, I mean they use the word man,
Right.
instead of just people.
Well,
but
women,
that's a.
had no voice.
Well, I mean, that's not true though.
Well, they had a voice at home whenever they weren't given any pussy if you didn't do the
Right.
right thing in the meeting hall.
Right, exactly. all those legislators had wives. I'm just saying,
Sex in blurred lines kind of situations where the woman does not explicitly consent but does not explicitly say no either is morally on par with rape.
No, it's not.
Would you 100%
I'm gonna-
disagree?
Yeah, because
I
I mean,
have to as well.
first of all, always having to ask for actual consent like that, so I mean, there's obviously implied consent, right? When you're making out, she's letting you touch her tits, and
Right.
she's not
yeah.
stopping you, and she's she's going along with it. That is a form of consent,
Implied consent.
right?
Mhm.
Now she was saying no, get off of me. Oh my god, then that's obviously saying no, and that's not consent, and that would become rape.
Now,
But now she's saying no, stop. Oh my god, you're being so bad. Stop. That's not a no.
right. I have to say, when I was going through my early years, no was just a reason to be more persistent.
Right.
And that's
A lot of
usually
times
how
it
we're-
is, yeah, because she's trying to be I don't want you to realize that I've done this, a bunch of times
Right,
before you.
right. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to come off like a slut, but I do want to
Right.
come off. Swimwear advertisements featuring excessively thin models should be banned.
No, 100% disagree. That's stupid.
But it promotes anorexia. The emancipation of women is one of the crowning glories of Western civilization.
Wait, what was that?
The emancipation of women is one of the crowning glories of Western civilization.
No, I think there's a lot bigger things that happened. You know, things that would have allowed for the emancipation of women. So I'm going to go with the 2 on that.
Yeah, I thought that might be a 2. All right, men's rights activists and male-bashing feminists are equally tribal and regressive in their thinking.
As feminists, I imagine?
No. No, it's saying men's rights activists, so men's rights activists.
Right, MRAs.
And male-bashing feminists are equally tribal and regressive in their thinking.
I would agree with that. In a way, no, because MRAs don't really do that. I'm gonna keep that at a 3.
Yeah, that one's a middle of the road kind of thing.
Yeah,
I've done some stuff involving men's rights activism, but from a work standpoint, writing, narrating. It's interesting. It's not so much an attack on women, but an attack on the structure that was put in place with women's rights in the women's rights movement. Gender equality has largely been achieved in the West, barring certain ethnic minorities. The struggle for equality is as good as over.
I'll give that a 4. I think.
Yeah, I think we've accomplished what we need to accomplish with equality for almost everybody if we would get rid of certain things that promote the inequalities. Women can do every job in the military just as well as a man.
No, I'm going to give that a 2.
I expected a 2.
Yeah.
The wage gap is a myth. Women already get equal pay for equal work.
I'm going to say, a 4, but the way that question is worded is kind of fucky.
Yeah, it says a very, very male position, right? It's a very male position on that latter half.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say male, a patriarchal opinion. Women are generally better people than men.
I'm going to leave it on a 3 because that depends on the individual, on who's a good person, who isn't.
I would be given a very conservative 2 on that. All right, John. So what that tells us is, here it comes, and your scale should be coming up in a moment. So you are 74% from in traditionalism is where you score there. 64 in liberal feminism, 18% in radical feminism, 23% in Marxist feminism, and 15% in cultural feminists. So you are you're more traditionalist.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're like, fuck women.
Literally.
And that's not a bad thing, as long as they imply consent, right?
Right, exactly.
All right. So there you now understand where you stand as a feminist, John.
Yes.
I love it. So Ron Hens says that the discovery of penicillin was the...
was the best glory, yeah. That is good.
I love that. All right, John. Let's jump to another test. What was another one you got for me?
Well, I've got 3, and let's let the chat decide.
Okay.
Do I want to do the homophobia test, the libertarian test, or the dark triad test, which is about how narcissistic, Machiavellian,
and psychopathic.
Psychopathic, yeah, that I am.
Yeah,
So
that was an
let's get
interesting
that.
test when I took that one. And just so everybody knows, I took that test. I showed John the results. I am a fucking psychopath. I
Yeah,
am literally a psychopath according to this test. I am full blown psychopath.
and I was not when I took it. So
But on the same note, I took the depression test and I scored the 85th percentile for being one of the most depressed fuckers in around. So I'm a depressed
oh,
psychopath, which is not a good mix. Don't piss me off.
Midget says the dark triad test. I'm inclined to agree.
The poo test.
You'll be able to see. You'll
Oh,
be able to see how narcissistic I am.
Uh, the poo test, based on the work of professors Sarah Shea and Gavin Gordon, the poo pathology test will match your personality with one of the Winnie the Pooh characters.
Oh God. Maybe we'll do that one after.
Helen says I am a borderline statist. Is that what that equates to? If I'm a psychopath, depressed psychopath.
I guess so.
I did take a libertarian test, and I only scored a 29%.
You got like 20. Yeah, you got some. Yeah,
29% libertarian.
which is not good.
Well,
Like, what did I
I'm a
call you?
psychopath, John. What do you want?
What did I call you when
Yeah,
when you
statist.
showed me the
You called
results?
me a
I just called you.
statist.
No, I called you a statist bootlicking cuck. That's right.
That's what it is. Bootlicking.
Yeah, yeah,
So we have one vote
Statist
for the
bootlicking
triad. Do you want to
cuck.
just go ahead and jump into the triad?
Yeah. Let's do the triad, man. That was a fun one.
Oh, I want to take this one. Oh, take the test again. Oh, so here are my results. They're actually because I've already
Yeah, mine
taken
popped up too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
So as you can see, I am compared to the rest of society, I am pretty fucking dangerous. Apparently, I'm probably a danger to myself as well. But I'm not a narcissist at all. John, could you go ahead and well, we'll see it in a moment. But
Well, yeah, we'll see. I don't want to
think
give
we're
it
going to see
away.
some very interesting differences between the two. I'm just saying. So the dark triad test is a personality inventory that explores socially undesirable traits of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. The dark triad is used by police and courts in psychiatric wards and evaluations, and even in big corporations. These are the kind of things that they base those fucking pre-qualification tests when you're trying to get a job, and I hate it. Ed says, coming from someone who does the same thing, I'm really surprised that narcissism isn't higher for you. Really, but that's the thing, Ed. I don't really give a fuck if anybody likes me. I don't need to be
Yeah,
popular.
I wouldn't say that Robert's narcissistic at all.
No,
I
I
would-
don't
would
care
say
about
that's
anybody
probably accurate.
liking me because I don't even like myself. I mean, all right, John. Here we go. I am egocentric.
Yeah,
Tell me.
yeah. I'm gonna go with the 5 on that. No, I'm gonna go with the 4 because I'm not. I don't try that hard. I'm not try hard when it comes to it. I'm just awesome. So I'll go with the 4.
Caring about the morality of your actions is for losers.
No, I'm gonna go with the 2 on that. Morality is important.
I am better than others.
4.
God, I hate people like you that say that.
I know.
It's just.
I mean, I am generally better than most.
How? In what way? Tell me one
Most
thing that
ways.
makes you better than others. One thing that makes you better
I'm smarter than most people.
that doesn't make you better than them.
Yes, it does.
How?
I'm
Yeah,
smarter
that's
than them.
right. I deserve to have great recognition, acknowledgement, and success come my way.
Deserve?
Yes, deserve is the key word there. I deserve it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I want to go with the 3 on that. Cause like, yeah, I mean, I do deserve that, but it's not up to me whether or not I get it.
Most people are lazy and don't work hard unless they have to.
I'll go with a 3 on that one as well, because again, that depends on the individual.
Right. I want others to admire me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 4 on that one.
I have a grand sense of self-importance.
We'll go with a 4 because, like, a little bit, but not really. Like, I wouldn't want to run the country or anything.
So
Like, I don't think I should be doing
you
that.
just want to be a noble of some little piece of shit Sealand?
Right, exactly. See, that's all I need in my life. I'll be happy.
So that was a 4, you said?
Yeah.
I dominate social situations.
Um, it depends on the social situation, and it depends on who I know around me.
Well,
Like I'll tell a story about a time that I have. Um, when we went up to New Orleans to go to the Deep Fat Fried podcast meetup, and they had like a whole thing, like a stage, and like
right.
there's a big concert place basically. And after they did their little show up on the stage and stuff, everyone was just kind of chilling, milling about, talking to people. And so me and it was Cameron, we were like sitting on the stage. We were sitting on the stage, and like I don't remember exactly how it happened because I had quite a few Jameson and Sprites. But like there was a huge crowd, not a huge crowd, maybe 20 people around us,
Mm-hmm.
and like we're all just talking, and I was entertaining people for like just because I don't know, it was weird. But yeah, so I certainly can. So I'm gonna give that a 4, but only because I don't normally do that. Like it just depends on the situation. I was just very comfortable there because it was a bunch of fellow neckbeards.
Couldn't you have just said 4 in the beginning? God.
But I wanted
Do you have
to,
to dominate the situation? All right.
see.
I use insincere flattery to get my way.
Yeah, I'll say a 4 on that. And yeah, and I've said that as well. It does take a certain level of narcissism to sit behind the microphone. Absolutely. To think that anyone would give a shit about your opinion, it does take a little bit of narcissism to do that.
And see there, and I can understand that to a certain extent. But for me, it's a lot of it. I just want to put it out there. I just want to have my opinion out there. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like I get tired of not being able to express myself, and this is a good way to do it. Whoa. Back up for a second. What? Okay, yeah, okay. So the next one, I guess I accidentally clicked. I exploit others towards my own ends.
I'm gonna go with a 3 on that because I don't generally
Yes.
do that.
See, that's where the psychopathy comes in for me.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't really do that.
I
I'd rather it be their idea.
Right. See, that's why. See, for me, that's what it is. It's not narcissism. I'm on here to try and exploit money out of people to pay us for hearing our bullshit. Right. I'm like, when are we going to be monetized? When are we going to be monetized?
Right? See, I want the accolades. Like we're two different. Two different.
Good. Remember
goals.
that when it comes time to split the money.
Oh, fuck off with that.
All right. I am cynical.
Yeah, 4. I'm absolutely cynical.
It's hard not to be in this day and age.
Yeah, it's true.
All people are deserving of basic respect.
Yeah, of course. I'll give that a 5.
You fucking cuck. Fuck
I
these
mean,
people.
deserving of basic respect doesn't mean you give them any more than what courtesy dictates.
Courtesy.
Yeah.
I get moods where I act on a whim, thinking little of the consequences or risk.
Yeah, 4. I'll do that pretty often.
Barebacking it?
Yeah, I have. Unfortunately.
Alright, are you going to next me? Put it next? Stupid thing. I have never been in trouble with the law.
That's true. I have not.
Wow.
I said I don't have a record. Like I've been up against the police car, but never inside.
Were you in trouble, or was it not something you did?
Oh no, it was something I did, but something that they didn't want to like do anything about. Something that they also couldn't prove.
So would you not say that requires a 4 because you were in trouble with the law, but you didn't?
Not really though. I didn't get arrested.
I didn't ask that.
I mean, but also I've had like a weed pipe found on me, and they just took it. They didn't, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't arrested for that because I didn't have any weed on me. I just had the pipe.
Because you're a dirty druggie.
Yeah, it's fair.
I fantasize about extraordinary prestige or status.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
4 or 5.
100%.
Give me a number.
No, that's gonna be a 5.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
things I think about before I go to bed.
I have
But
grandiose tendencies. Grandiose tendencies, however you
grandiose.
want to. Some people pronounce it one way or the other.
I've never heard grandiose, but grandiose tendencies? No, I'm not like flashy or anything.
So a number.
Let's go with a 3.
Oh, I hate it when it does that for some reason. It does that stupidity. I get frustrated easily.
Yeah, that'll be a 4. I get frustrated. I don't really get angry.
I have good relations with my family.
Yeah, I would say a 4.
John, have you been having relations with your family?
I mean, I'm not gonna talk about that on here. Jeez.
I keep track of sensitive information that can be used to hurt people at a later time.
Nah, I'll give that a 2.
Jesus, I got a 5 from me. Fuck. And it's not even like I try. I just store that data. Say something to me once, and I will dredge it back up 30 years later and throw it in your fucking face.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do that like in a more of a debate than an actual like argument. You know what I mean? Like if you say, "Oh, well, I believe this." Oh, what about 3 years ago when you said you believe this? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But that's not the same thing.
I hold those little
I think.
tidbits so that I know what I can cut you with, what I can cut you deep with when I say it.
See, I don't need to do that.
It's a fucked up thing, but it's how I am. I easily lose my temper.
No, 1. I'm pretty level-headed. Like I said, I get frustrated. I don't really get angry.
Helton says yes. Do you want to see yours, Robert? What? See my
I don't
what?
know.
I'm trying to
Oh,
think back of what I said.
no. Ron Helton said, "My goal is to see the return of liberty to this country."
Oh.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know what that is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a different statement. I don't know. Either way.
Yeah, I was trying to figure
I'm
out.
sure he'll explain it in a
I'm
moment.
trying to go through my lack of short-term memory and go back through what I said. All right. So I can enjoy picking on losers.
Um,
Come on, go ahead.
I'm gonna give that a 3 because
Only
I
a
can.
3? You fuck.
Yeah, because I don't usually make fun of people to their face. Like I'll
It
banter
doesn't
with
say
someone else.
that. It
You know,
just
I'll
says
make fun of
picking.
somebody.
It just says picking on. I mean,
But-
nowadays you don't have to pick on somebody to their face. You have 100
Yeah.
different ways to do it, not in their face. Three?
Yeah, I'll leave that at a 3.
Okay.
I'll leave that at a 3 because I mean I certainly can enjoy picking on losers, but I don't typically do it.
I despise people who can't control their emotions.
Yeah, that's gonna be a 4.
Really?
Yeah,
That's harsh.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, me too. I use lies to get my way.
Ooh. That goes back to like the insincere flattery thing, I would think. I'll give that a 3. I've certainly done it before, but I'm not sure where I stand on it now. It depends on what it is, you know?
Yeah, and surprisingly, even with all my tendencies to do other things as far as manipulation or coercion or whatever, that was one that I was low on. Like that probably kicked down my psychopathy a little bit because I was like, well, no, I don't lie to people
Yeah.
to get my way. I just manipulate the fuck out of them. Oh, here we go. I manipulate others to get my way.
That one actually might be up more. That one might actually be a 4.
I knew. I was waiting.
Yeah.
I was poised over the 4. I figured that's where you were going to go there. I often lack remorse.
Oh, Round Helton's making a good point. I belittled Comrade Cameron's archery skills. You said they would starve or something to that effect. So that's not. I didn't belittle him. I it's more banter than anything else.
Shut up,
Because
Trump.
we talk about each other like that all the time. You know,
Yeah,
he'll call me like a filthy capitalist pig dog, and
yeah,
you know,
those are
I'll
long-term friends there.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
we've known each other for
Just because Cameron happens to be a loser doesn't mean you were picking on him for
not
being a
because he was a
loser.
loser,
Right.
right? But yeah, no, I've known him forever. Like that's yeah.
I often lack remorse.
I'm gonna leave that at a 3 because I don't normally, but if I actually think I did something wrong, then I would.
What?
But
Guess what mine was?
yeah, you never do, I
I don't
imagine.
feel a lot of remorse for anything. I mean, because I'm one of those. It happened. There's nothing. I can't change it.
Yeah.
So guilt is not something that really. Others should pay special attention to me.
Yeah, that's gonna be a 4.
See, and
'Cause
that's where.
sometimes I don't want attention. That's why it's not a 5. Because I
See,
only want attention when I want it. Don't give it to me otherwise. It's a very
right.
I don't know.
See, for me, and this is why my narcissism came out lower than you might expect, because I looked at the operative words there, where it says others should pay attention to me.
Yeah.
I don't think people should pay attention to me. I just kind of want them to, so that I don't know.
I think they should, but only when I want them to. And I don't. There's no way for them to know whether or not I want them to, other than like being on a live stream. Like right now is a perfect opportunity, and the appropriate time to pay attention to me.
Fortunately, Ron, there happens to be a perfectly good recording device going on right now.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
of this shit I'm saying.
we're already doing that.
I mislead people so as to look better in their eyes.
Yeah, I do that. I'll give that a 4.
I look down on people who unwisely share their secrets.
I mean that depends. Like if it's a close friend or something, then no. But if it's just like a random person, yeah, that's pretty stupid. So I'll keep
Sounds
that
like,
at a 3.
I was going to say, sounds like middle of the road. If you do it
Yeah.
to some and not to others, yeah. I am especially motivated towards making friends with famous people.
Yeah, I'll give that a 4. I mean that's why I ditched you guys to go hang out with Sargon.
Yes, we know. Don't fucking dredge that shit up. Salt in the wounds. I do what I want and do not feel particularly obliged to anyone.
I think I'll give that a 4. But like I won't, because it just depends on what I want to do.
Right.
Like if someone's like, "Oh, you shouldn't do this," but I want to do it, then I'm gonna do it. Like that's it. But
All right. I expect special favors from others.
ooh, I'm gonna be honest and go with a 4 on that.
So
Although I wouldn't ask for them normally.
You met Sargon, right?
Yeah.
Right. You created this minor relationship. Do you expect special favors from him, like coming on the show because you met him?
Not anymore. No, I didn't build enough of a rapport.
Right.
He's not gonna remember me. You know what I mean? Like if I showed up at his doorstep, he's not gonna remember who I am.
Yeah, you never know.
You know.
John. You might have made an impression.
I doubt it.
Damn bouncy screen. I am not as upset as others when someone dies.
Yeah, generally, I'll give that a 4. Generally speaking, I mean, unless it's someone close to me, then yeah. But if it's just some random person, no.
Yeah, mine was a full blown 5. I mean, it's pretty much pretty much the same ambivalence. Sad to say, I mean, I've had my mother die, my grandmother die, my grandfather die.
And no, he didn't, Ed. He did not call me that. I did wear my Chucky R. Law shirt on, which is an IRA phrase that they say all the time, meaning "our day will come." And I got it. That's in the picture I have with him. So I wore it around an Englishman. He didn't say anything about it. I was very surprised.
I feel that I am more special than others.
Oh yeah, 5. Yeah, 100%.
See, a lot of this, it could almost be determining whether or not you're a millennial. All right. Being ethical is more important than getting ahead in the world.
Yeah, I would say that's a 4. I would say I agree with that.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a shame. I have often been called callous or insensitive.
Oh yeah, 5.
See, there's something we had in common.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here comes the big reveal. Let's see where John stands. All right, Trumpian levels of narcissism. So this makes you 25.83% darker than the average person. So you're a quarter more dark than the normal person. Your psychopathy is about mid-range. Your Machiavellianism mid-range. Narcissism getting close to off the charts. But you come in average. So that narcissism balances out enough to make you just a little above average from the rest of society as far as, your darkness. Just a little darker than the rest of society. Not a lot, but a little, 25% more.
If you had asked me 10 years ago, the narcissism and the Machiavellianism would have been off the charts. I imagine. No, maybe not Machiavellianism. I don't know. But the narcissism would have been more.
All right, let's see something real quick. Where are we
Yeah.
at? We're at we're at 10:30 already.
Yeah.
Do you want to go long and do one more test, or should we? Go ahead and call it?
Let's ask the chat because we only have a few people here right now. We only have 4 people over both platforms, so let's see what they want to do.
Ed, that was more of a joke. It was more of an.
That was a joke, yeah.
An ironic exaggeration. What kind of exaggeration would that be?
Yeah.
Sideways, sarcastic exaggeration. What were the other two? What were the other two that were left? Homophobia.
I had homophobia and libertarian.
Well, I really want to see your homophobia if we're going to do one more.
Ed
really
says go long, go long, go long, go long.
Yeah, but we're not playing football.
Yeah.
No, I was kidding. I really want to see your homophobia test because I know where your liberalism is. You're as gay as liberals can be. Like if liberalism was gay, you would be full on bent over taking it up the butt right now.
All right, we can do the homophobia test, but I'm gonna have to take another piss. So.
Are you really, John? Why aren't you back yet?
Because fuck you. So I'll be right back.
Trump wouldn't register on this test. 175% narcissist. Yeah, I would have to agree, and that's why I say John. John's not Trump level. Now, actually, I have a stepdaughter that is. Trump level narcissism to the extent that, like her first thought when she wakes up is me, and 99% of the thoughts that she has throughout the day start with me, my, I, something along those lines. It's very scary. Now, these are the results from my original homophobia test that I took. So as you can see, I am absolutely not homophobic. Almost. Like, I am almost literally not homophobic at all. Ed, did you say you took this test? I can't remember. Call Slattery, make him do the homophobia test. And I would love to see him do that. I don't know if, actually, he wouldn't even have to try and weight it because the questions in this test actually really just, it will bring out either the worst or best answers from you if, in whichever way you want to look at it. Because they are, again, I like the structure of a lot of the questions on these tests because it's basically using mainstream mind thoughts, ideological parameters for these questions, things that you're hearing on social media, things that you're hearing out in our culture and our society in regards to these issues, and just saying, okay, well, this is a thing. Where do you sit on the scale of agreement of it? Oh, Ed, you didn't take it, but I definitely think you should. I would love to see your results of that.
For
So,
which
John,
one?
for the homophobia test, we were just
Oh,
saying
you got 13%.
over.
Apparently, Tenchi said he just took it and he got 14%.
I might know the total of homophobia over here is the number, the primary number. I am 6% homophobic. And typically that leans towards to effective, and most of it is here in effective homophobia, which is, how it's presented in public, how it affects you, out there in the world when it's thrown in your face. Because I've never been a big
Yeah.
fan of having it thrown in your face. It's like, yeah, you can be out and you can be whatever, but I don't need you to make sure I know. That's not my, something that needs to happen.
Yeah. All right, so let's do this. While you're setting that up, I'm gonna open the D Live chest. So you guys have fun with that. There's 9.6 in there, which is fucking awesome. 10.2, sorry, 10.2. So 30 seconds, and that will be with you guys.
You're opening it? Oh
I
my
did. I
gosh,
opened
that's
it.
so exciting.
I know. My God, Squeak.
All right. So, John, the first question. Please be as honest as you can. The thought of homosexuality is revolting to me.
No, I'll put that as a 3. Like the thought of me being a homosexual is
Does it
revolting to
just
me.
the thought of
Yeah,
homosexuality?
exactly. So no, I'll give that a 3.
So it's not revolting, but it's not revolting. Gotcha.
Well, no, it's more that like I don't care because it doesn't affect me. So like I don't even think about homosexuality. Like it has no interest.
Well, I guess that's going on the idea that if you're thinking about homosexuality, when you
Yeah.
are, is it revolting? I dislike the thought of homosexuals working in jobs where they might serve as role models for children, school teachers, sports coaches, etc.
Mm, no.
So, give me
No,
another.
I would say a 2.
Okay. Homosexuality is immoral.
No. I'll give that a 1.
I enjoy the company of gay people.
I have enjoyed the company of gay people. Yeah, I'll give that a 4. Gay people are awesome.
They
I
can't be
got
funny.
free drinks one time at the Parliament House.
Somebody was
Yeah.
desperate.
Yeah. Well, I was also a lot better looking back then.
I doubt it. All
I
right.
was.
I keep some extra distance in relations where I suspect the other party is gay.
No. 2.
And I can attest to that. I've seen how you are in those situations.
Yeah, I don't care.
Homosexual intercourse should be against the law.
No, 1.
I have contemplated vandalizing the property of gay people as a punishment for their being gay.
1. I've never. No. That's stupid.
Ed says he pretended to be gay one night to hook up with a hot girl.
How'd that work out for you?
He says he's always thinking about homosexuality because there's a gay joke buried in every statement. I think Ed's had a gay joke buried in his statement.
Got him.
All right, so what was the answer? What was your number on vandalizing?
1. You won. That's stupid.
It does not matter to me whether my friends are gay or straight.
Does not matter to me?
Does not matter to you.
Oh, 5. Yeah, I don't care.
I know this about you. You know what's
Yeah.
surprising? And I'm going to say that, and I have the mouse cursor taken off, not showing, but I know you a hell of a lot better than one might suspect because most of these I'm hovering over your answer before you say it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think I've gotten to know you that well.
Nice.
I am more suspicious of gay people than straight ones.
More suspicious in what? See, it's like in
Just
what
more
way?
suspicious. The same way you would be suspicious of anybody in society. Like, are you suspicious of people? And if so, like distrustful, suspicious, are you more suspicious, distrustful
No, I
of
would say a
someone that's
3.
gay? Okay.
I would say 3. Yeah. People who are capable of
Well, if you leave
anything.
it at 3, that's saying that you are middle of the road suspicious, more suspicious of gay people than straight ones, as opposed to
Well, no,
no,
because if I
I'm not
put
any
2,
more
then that means that I'm
suspicious.
more suspicious of straight people.
No, it doesn't. That's not how that
2.
works. You're
Yeah.
disagreeing with the statement, not the action.
All right, then I'll do a 2. Fine, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
that's what I like
That's
about the
how I
quiz
interpreted it.
because it's talking about the statement itself. How suspicious, more suspicious of gay people are you than straight ones?
Right.
It does not bother me to see homosexual couples out in public.
No, it doesn't bother me.
So you're
Whatever, whichever
five,
way that
4 or
is.
5.
I mean 4. I'm not gonna watch them kiss. You know, I've seen that before, and I'm like, that's kind of weird, but I don't care.
So a little bit of it bothers you.
I'm just like, I don't want to watch. Like, I don't care if they do it. I'm just not gonna watch it.
Marriage is between a man and a woman. I do not support same-sex marriage. I do not support same-sex marriage.
No, I'm gonna go with the 1 on that because I do support same-sex marriage.
You want to keep your options open, right?
Yeah, of course. I do very well in the gay community. I was told it's because of the beard.
When I meet a new potential friend, I want to find out about their sexual orientation so I can back out if they are gay.
No, I don't care about that at all. What's a 1?
Notice do you notice the pun in that?
Oh, back
The
out.
joke in the yeah, see you back out
Yeah.
if they are gay. I'm gonna back out of here. I'm not turning around to this fucker.
Right? Yeah. Oh my god. I don't think that was intentional.
I know, but isn't it funny how they, like Ed said, there's a gay joke in everything.
Yeah.
I keep my distance from people whom I know are gay.
No. Again, 1. I don't care. This test is easy. Like
Right?
most of
It's
this, I don't care. Like,
being around gay people makes me uncomfortable.
no.
1 or 2.
I'm gonna go with the 2 actually.
All right, because sometimes
'Cause then
ADA
I do have
could
to
make
kinda-
you uncomfortable, right?
Well, not only that, but I also have to question whether or not they're talking to me because they like me, or but they're talking to me because they like me.
Either one gets you a drink.
I mean, right? Yeah, and I even told the guy when you can buy me a drink, but I'm not going home with you. And then we went home, and
You know,
it was a
that's
whole
one of the
thing.
most offensive things you can say to a gay man.
Well, no, I mean he laughed. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what you do in polite company, John. You don't let them know you're pissed.
Okay.
I have criticized people to their face for being gay.
Criticized? No.
I know you
Bantered? Yes.
No, you've never criticized someone to their face for being gay.
No.
I have mocked manly women and or girly men with derogatory sexual slurs.
5. Yeah.
I know. I'm like,
I've
you do that.
absolutely.
You'll do that.
I do that all the time.
There's one of those things that, because I do that too, so that's one of those things that bumps up my homophobia just a little.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would,
I absolutely do that.
I would be more offended if a gay person made a pass at me than if a straight person did.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. I would be flattered.
Now,
Going back to the narcissism thing,
well, hold on. Now, let me qualify that. What are we defining as making a pass at?
Oh, I would say just like flirting or, I wouldn't say like trying to,
Like
kiss
get
me or
handsy,
something.
right? See,
Yeah,
there's a broad area
Right,
there.
because if you're getting handsy, yeah, I'm going to tell you to back the fuck off.
But making a pass at somebody could be as something as simple as coming up and putting their arm around you and flirting a little, or patting you on the butt, or it could just be buying you a drink. All of those could be defined as making a pass. But anyway,
That's true.
So you disagree? 1,
Uh,
2.
I'll go with 2 because of that, because of what you said there about, trying to be handsy. I don't
Right.
like that in general.
Yeah.
Just generally, I don't like people touching me.
Yeah, that whole made a pass thing could be a little bit more clear or defined.
Yeah.
I would feel comfortable having a gay roommate.
Yeah. 4?
So not 100% comfortable.
I mean, yeah.
Because you have to sleep, and we already learned about your
I mean, doors have locks, but
suspiciousness. Yeah, but
No.
doors can be unlocked. I know how to stick something in that little hole and pop that, apartment lock.
Yeah.
Gay people are probably responsible for some of the ridicule they get.
Yeah, I'll give that a 4.
Yep.
I mean, come on, guys.
There's where there's some of the homophobia
Yeah.
that comes in, right? When you answer
Yeah.
that. But it's true. They do. Gay people
Yeah.
often put themselves in a position to be ridiculed.
Right. And most of the time, it's not even for, like, I wouldn't even use the word ridicule for myself. Like,
Right.
again, it's banter. It's, friendly jabbing, friendly ribbing,
Yeah.
that's all. Yeah.
If I discovered a friend was gay, I would consider ending the friendship.
No, that's a 1.
Yep, I knew that.
Yeah.
Organizations that promote gay rights lead people astray. So organizations that promote gay rights lead people to being gay. Like, I believe that's what they
fucked
mean
up.
by astray.
Yeah. I figure that's what it means.
Organizations that promote gay rights. So, that's these gay LGBT.
I'm gonna leave that at a right. I'm gonna leave it at a 3 because they're more like not advocacy, activist groups more than advocacy groups.
So
You know what I mean?
so
They're
you would
more for like we need more gay than other things instead of being like having equal rights. It's about having extra protections and extra privileges over anyone else for a lot of those groups.
I
Um,
saw that question as more like, so being activists for gay rights and promoting gay rights um, is telling people that it's okay to be gay, give it a try. Okay, well, maybe I need to decide if I am gay because I've thought about a penis once.
Yeah.
That's what I saw in that question. I don't know. I'm not trying to sway, but I was just, that one was one of those that seemed to go a little, okay, what do you mean by go astray? It's like,
Right.
Astray from
Basically turning them
recruiting
gay.
or
Yeah.
recruiting or, fucking with your rights. You know
No,
what I mean?
I'll leave it at a 3.
Yeah, it's a little bit ambiguous on that question.
Yeah.
It's only gay if you're the receiver, according to Ed. All right, so here we go, John. Now, you are more homophobic than I am, just FYI. At 23%, you big gay
Wow.
basher. Effective homophobia. So there's, those points where you're factoring in what you might see them do in public, the actions they may take in public that will affect, that will affect you. That's where you're a little bit higher. Your cognitive homophobia, that is leaning towards, how
That
you
makes sense.
perceive homosexuality.
Yeah.
And then behavioral homophobia, how they act versus how you respond to how they act, just being themselves. Your behavioral homophobia, you don't behave any different around homosexuals, though you don't necessarily want to see them being gay in front of you because you don't like gay porn.
Right.
And, you don't want to be forced to think about homosexuality either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not bad. See, you're still coming under. You are 9.4% less homophobic than the average person.
Yay. I'm progressive.
So, now, I do believe that I bet we could take this test, knowing everything that's ever been said and having had lots of discussions and seen lots of things about this. I bet we could take this test for Slattery and get very close to a definitive answer about his homophobia.
I wouldn't want to do that.
No, I'm just saying we
Yeah.
could. I'm just saying we could. I mean, because I'm
Maybe.
reading as we went through it this time. I'm
Oh,
thinking.
yeah.
One of my side thoughts is, what would Nate say in this? And I had a,
Right.
he's an extremist, so you can kind of see where those answers would go.
Yeah.
But so not bad, John. I actually that points to you being a little more homophobic than I necessarily thought you
I
would
suppose
be.
so. Yeah.
I mean, it's just being the company that you keep, right? The people that
Yeah.
I normally see you around, our friends group, that kind of thing. You know things about people in the group and
Yeah.
this that, and the other, and I expected that to actually be a little lower for the total homophobia, surprisingly enough. So, it's nice to
I'm
find out
still
a
less
little
than
bit.
average, though.
Sure, you're less than average, but you're more than me, so fuck off. 17% higher than me versus, from total
Yeah.
homophobic
It's
standpoint.
not effective homophobia that's fucked me up there on the total. What was that one again?
That's the one where how you're affected by homosexuality. So, like you said, when you're, if you happen to walk down the street and there's a gay pride parade going on, it's not going to bother you to see the parade. But if you see them waving their dicks around or kissing each
Oh,
other,
yeah.
then
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
going
yeah.
to affect you. So there's a certain
Yeah.
affected nature to it that bothers you, but that's just because you don't want it in your face. You want it,
Right.
you want it less in your face than the average American. You're about 5.7% higher than the average person, not wanting to have
That's
it
fair.
shoved in your face. And I don't think there's
Right.
anything wrong with that. I would expect most people's effective homophobia would be the higher one there. Simply because Midget made this point in Discord, you don't want to have it thrown in your face. A lot of us don't want it thrown in
Right.
the face. I mean, I'm not straight. I've openly admitted that I'm bisexual, and even I, no matter your gender, no matter what your sexual orientation, I don't want you putting it in my face.
Yeah.
I don't need you to affect a lisp and a girly attitude to let me know you're gay. You
Yeah.
don't have to put that out there for me. So, these are things that I would expect from just about anybody to not, want that happening. But so interesting test, John. I like
Yeah.
that one because it's not overly weighted in one way or the other. It just gives you blanket societal, cultural inputs that are out there, and that's what I think I like about these tests. That a lot of these are geared that way. These are just putting mindsets out there and asking you what you think about what's been said on the topics, and there you go. I've been enjoying them. I wouldn't mind doing
Yeah.
some more of them at some point, that kind of thing. But outside of that, so we can go ahead and wrap this up. Hey, I want to put it out there. You guys have been awesome in chat.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Restream.io popped up a message. We got an award. It says, I've received 1,000 messages today with Restream chat. So our
What?
chat...
We got an achievement.
I guess we received 1,000 messages maybe that's overall. That's
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
Oh
not
no,
today.
it says today. It says today. I did
What?
see again. Is it? Have we had 1,000 messages going through the chat between all the different
No,
sites?
no fucking way. We're not that good.
So
No.
it's just saying that we hit that today. See, that's an ambiguous
Yeah.
statement. I don't
Right,
like
we must have
ambiguous
hit that
statements.
today.
Ron Hilton says the tests are an appeal to authority. I don't take them seriously. I can see where you're coming from on that, but
Yeah.
I see it more. Again, like I said, like for instance on the first one that John took, I see a lot of those things as just taking comments straight out of the Twitterverse. Whether one side or the other, just stuff that people say that are like consistent thought patterns going on. And, how do you feel about those? I mean, I could see how, John, Ed, I'll appeal to your authority, big boy. What does he know about Ron that we don't?
I don't know.
But I will say the IQ test again. That was a very interesting one because it was very much about logical thinking, pattern recognition, kind of like deep thought type of stuff, and it wasn't like, you know, stupid questions, about psychological shit. It was very linear, mathy kind of questions. If you turn this cube with these three faces, which one of these other cubes is going to be an actual rotation of that cube? And it has six different faces on it. Okay, that's a thinker, right? You got to look at it and you got to, okay.
Yeah.
So if it turned this way, then no, it can't be that cube. If it turned, no, it can't. Those I like. I think that's a very good way of getting a very cognitive IQ. And I was actually surprised. It felt like I got stupid because I scored a 119. It gave me an IQ of 119, which is good. It put me at about like 80% smarter than the average person. But it's a lot different than the IQ tests you took back in the old days. The one that they said was weighted, because back then I think I scored like a 129 or something like that on the IQ test, a little bit different. So, I think it's just the approach, what you're tapping into. So apparently I'm dumber than I thought. But I can live with that, I guess, as long as I'm smarter than John. That's all that matters. Yeah. Ron Helton says he prefers to deal in facts, not feels. Yes, I can agree with that. Take the IQ test. It's all about facts. It's just point blank. It's right and wrong answers. You get it wrong or you get it right. That's all there is to it. I got 3 of the 16 wrong. So, those are the kind of tests that might appeal to you.
Yeah.
And the Fed. Okay, that's what that is.
I agree with that part.
Ooh, dude, the Donald is on a tirade on Twitter right now. He's going on a
shit.
rage thread.
Oh, God.
All right, so let's get the hell out of here, and we'll go check out Trump's rage tweets. Folks, hey, guys, thanks a lot for showing up with us. I'm glad to have you guys here all the way through, running along in the show with us, keeping the conversation popping and rocking and all of that stuff. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I know most of you people do, but if you haven't, please do. Make sure you do. And John, can you let them know where to find us should they be looking?
Yes, you can find us down in the description. Sorry. We've got our Twitter at the GenGapP. We've got our Discord server. If you're not there already, make sure you be there because it's an awesome place full of awesome people. Then we've also got freedomscoop.com where you can find other content creators. First of all, ourselves, of course, first and foremost. Then you can also find Ed over there at J. Edgar. You can find Stephen Ignoramus over there, and I believe Wyatt has actually started writing stuff over there, doing his videos and stuff over there, so make sure you check him out too. You can also buy our shirts over there. We have shirts such as this one, and they have stuff on the back too, but I can't show you that. But yeah, make sure you go check those out, and if you enter the code GenGap, then you can get 15% off the shirt. So make sure you go and do that, because then you can go around looking awesome like we do.
Ed, if you don't like that choppy Discord video, please make a donation to my computer fund, and I will do my best. I'm doing my best to resolve that and get that all worked out.
Yep.
If you need that information, please hit me up on Discord. I'll be more than happy to send you a wonderful link that'll let you make that donation. Because, I'll always take free money for help. But anyway, or support, that's what we'll call it. Support the show. UBI much? Anyway,
Yeah.
Right? All right, so we're going to get the hell out of here. Keep your eyes out for us. We'll be back again on Monday for another rousing episode of Shooting the Shit. And just like always, again, after that, that's at 9 p.m. on Mondays. And then, of course, we'll be back next week on Friday, as usual, for our regular episode at 8:30 of The Generational Gap. It's been exciting tonight. I've had a lot of fun. All right, I lied. It's been some fun, and I'm not really that excited. I'm really more blasé, and ambivalent. I'll give some ambivalent. Hey, but if you, just to have some fun for shits and giggles, look down there in the description. Like I said, the link to those tests are there. It's kind of fun playing around with some of those. I do think we should determine which poo characters we are on an upcoming
Yes.
show soon.
Maybe on Monday we'll do
maybe
that.
we'll
We'll
do
do
that.
some of those character ones.
Hey, and one other thing I wanted to mention, since you mentioned Freedom Scoop and Stephen Ignoramus. Folks, if you follow Stephen Ignoramus, go ahead. Please check him out on his show and on Discord. And let's get him to get a video posted. He recently went and did stand-up, did an open mic night,
yeah.
stand-up routine, and he is not yet posted it, but I want to see it. Other people want to see it. So if we try and give him enough motivation, maybe we can get him to put that thing up online, because I'd love to see how funny Stephen Ignoramus is. Mad props to him for having the courage and the balls to get up there and do
Hell
that.
yeah.
So go give him some love. Make sure and check him out. And let's see if we can't push him to get that video out there for us. Outside of that, I got nothing else to say, John. Because I don't need people looking at me and give. I know that's what you're all about.
Yep.
But let's get the hell out of here, folks. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight. We'll check you out again soon, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
Yep. See you guys.